Yes, sir. Thank you.
Water.
Water.
What are you talking about?
I like the
I heard about the
Balenciaga T-shirt on it. Yeah.
YG's crazy.
It's from Holiday.
I bet it
What's
is.
up with the mask?
What do you mean?
You drive
You
the
haven't been
G-Wagon
wearing it,
today?
I didn't
I
think.
have cool.
You drive the G-Wagon today, right?
No, Camry.
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 Oh, come on.
Attention Dallas poker players, over $3 million in tournament guarantees for the Poker Atlas Tour at Texas Card House Dallas and Las Colinas. 21 events, August 15th through September 5th. This massive series kicks off with the Dallas Duel, a $1 million guaranteed no-limit hold'em tournament. And what bigger way to close the Poker Atlas Tour than with the $1.5 million guaranteed title event? For full details, go to texascardhouse.com now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to TCH Live Tuesday. We've got a very special program for you guys this evening, and we'll give you more details about the $3 million plus in guarantees of tournaments coming up here at TCH Dallas and at TCH Social at Las Colinas. I'm your host, Aaron McAvoy. Joining me, of course, Derek Ing. What's going on, my buddy?
I'm doing great. How's it going, Aaron?
It's going very well. Very much looking forward to tonight's stream. We've got a very good action-packed lineup here for you guys tonight. 5,100 on the show for TCH Live Tuesday. And we've got a lot of familiar faces here from around the Dallas area, as well as Mariano coming in from out of town to spice things up, to mix it up here, buying in for $50K. 10K, pretty much the minimum buy-in here for everybody this evening, and the stacks are going to be swinging, chips going to be flying, going to be a lot of action. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you are locked and loaded, ready for some fine TCH Live poker action. Start things off, $250 PLO bomb pot. Let's see who's taking this one down. We've got King 9655 out there on the board. Club flush available, full houses available. I'm seeing a 5-6 from Mariano there. It looks like he might just have it.
Yeah, I think Mariano, first hand in Dallas, gonna take down the flip. It looks like.
Let's continue flipping, guys.
Let's go.
What a setup!
Right. Yeah, pretty nice to start things off. Up $2,000. So we take a look here in the chat, see who all is tuned in nice and early here. We got Alvin Teaches Poker. What's up, Al? We got Doug. We got Tiny Poker. We got Frank. David Valle. What's up? Welcome, one and all. And as people keep tuning in, we'll take a peek back here and see who is hanging out with us. But do want to thank everybody who has joined us bright and early here. JD starting down 15,000 to get things started off. He is just buried immediately. That bomb pot really took a toll.
Yeah, I think they're just taking into account the last couple streams, and they're just starting them off in the red. But no, in all seriousness, they caught this early on. They're gonna have it fixed in very few hands here. And I did know, man, classy tip there from Mariano, giving our boy Sal $100 off that flip. So really cool of them to do that. Welcome to Dallas, Mariano.
Oh heck yeah! No, I think I mean, it's always good to tip well, but like when you're a YouTuber, a vlogger, a streamer, you know, you've got some sort of personality going on, whatever, where you are not only making money playing this game, but also just from people watching you. Like, I feel like the tipping is just going to happen at a higher rate, or just sort of comes with the territory. So absolutely hats off to that man. Big props for all of the tipping that all of the players do. Always appreciated by the dealers and the staff. So
yeah, I feel like a lot of vloggers and maybe content creators in poker, they see themselves as ambassadors of the game, right? And so they want to really, you know, shed a positive light on the game where some people might see it as a negative thing. And yeah, definitely appreciate Mariano for that.
Yeah, I don't know who those people are. This game is amazing, as we all know, and everybody tuning in here is certainly a lover of the game. Not only watching it here on the YouTubes for free, TCH Live, help us out, hit subscribe, hit like, make sure you are part of the TCH Live team, but also getting out on the felt and firing away, having a good time. It's a game that brings us all together. I mean, you know, we are out there putting our money at risk, and there is always something to be sort of aware of when you're doing that. But yeah, there's no stigma about this game. This is a fantastic game that brings people together. In no other way will you see so many people from all over the planet coming together and enjoying a game, having some banter, enjoying some beverages, and, you know, all around just having a good time. Game of poker is truly a global sport, a global game. Mariano here up to 52,000 after winning that bomb pot, starting with 50K in the stack here on the button. Going to raise it up with 10-6 suited, takes it down, and he'll take that one easy peasy. All right, once again, looking here in the chat, we got Raina, we got Poker Monkey. What's up, y'all? Welcome in. Mighty Hammer joining us as well.
See Sassy in the chat.
From LA?
Yeah. Yeah, this one.
David Valley. Doug R. Welcome, everyone. We got a special live stream for just now joining us. Mariano Poker, YouTube vlogger from California, joining us here in Dallas, Texas, playing on our 50-100 stream.
Yeah, there's a Love Field Airport. It's actually closer here. Easier.
I saw that one as well. I got a little bit confused.
Yeah, I can't wait till we start getting some $200 straddles on and such as well. But for right now, 51 is already a fantastic stake to be streaming here. Mariano cannot miss here early in the going. Starts off with pocket queens after a raise from Yacht Club. Early position with the pocket fours.
They go to LA.
They go to left field.
This is an under the gun open here from Yacht Club. Let's see if he wants to defend the fours. He does. I need to find a sailboat out there.
It's pretty sweet.
Does not. There is one overcard here to Mariano's pair. He does have the betting lead, and when check 2, 2150 in the middle. Continue for 1/3. Pretty standard play here. Yacht Club gonna let it go.
Man, it's incredible how much bigger the pots get, right? When you change the game from 5-10, 25, 25-50, and now 50-100 we have tonight. Just 1 3-bet there, and we already have a 2K pot. Gonna see a lot of swings, I imagine, throughout the night.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, everything is sort of calculated in terms of big blinds, right? Because those are sort of the units of measure that we take into account. And so when it's $100 as a single unit, yeah, obviously a standard night, you can definitely see swings of 50, 100, even 200 or 300 big blinds, especially here in Texas. And so, yeah, would not at all be surprised if we see somebody swing as much as up 50K or down 50K.
If he would have told me before.
That would be very reasonable within sort of the realm of possibility. But starting things off, everybody just kind of getting a feel for the game, dipping a toe in the water here as we've had a couple of small pots.
Yeah, see people in chat wondering why Dong isn't in our lineup here tonight. Trust me, Mallory really tried. A few of our other regular high stakes players, I think, are out of town in Houston. So she had trouble getting them to join the game, but I imagine if Dong was available, he would be in this game. He likes any games bigger than 25-50. So
Texas is usually pretty green.
Unfortunately, we won't be we won't be seeing any Dong versus Mariano action, but hopefully in the future.
Absolutely. Benji here raising it up from early middle position with the king queen. Oh, Brass Monkey gonna call from the cutoff. I'll bring JD in on the button. And the blinds are out of the way, so 3 players to a flop. Our first multi-way pot with $1,050 in the middle. King in the window, ace-7 two-tone here. Gonna be second pair for both Benji and JD. That's a dangerous card here for JD as it puts a pair of aces on board. Very unlikely after checking through that anyone has that ace. So both Benji and JD going to feel pretty good about their second pairs now. Pair of 5s has already hit the road, but indeed JD going to make the call. Pot up to 2,000, and it is a meaningless jack here on the end. Actually going to improve JD's kicker from aces and kings with a 9 to aces and kings with a jack. He literally only loses to king, queen, and better. And that is what Benji has. Let's see if Benji puts the pedal down here, goes from sort of max value with his kicker kicking. And it is a big chunky 3/4 bet. I love this. JD, I think, with just no choice but to make this call. Always such a gross spot, though, where you're in a position where, like, you rarely have better hands. So you're kind of in a spot where, like, you just feel compelled to call. And wow, he's able to get away from that.
What a
that
fold
is
there.
A tremendous fold right there. Front door diamonds bricks out, and he's just like, I unblock queen 10, and That's one of the bluffs that I would want you to have had to get here and make this call. I'm just going to let this go, and he gets away from it. Fantastic fold from JD.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Instead of this, if you did that instead of the stand-up game, I'm out every time. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna ship it all in right when it starts.
Alvin here already on the conspiracy train. ChatGPT in charge of everything at this point. Actually, I haven't looked at the video description. Perhaps it is indicative of
I'm not gonna
our
lie,
AI masterminds.
I saw the comments, and I went immediately to the video description, and he might not be wrong. I was like reading it, and I was like, huh, this is some high-level descriptions here. Sean saying, anyone think Mariano's bankroll came from YouTube and not winning poker? Oh, he typically does end-of-year reports on his poker winnings for the year, and I mean, if anyone watched that last year, he did quite well.
I mean, anybody that just watches him play, dude crushes on these live streams.
For sure.
I mean, and then he's obviously going to be playing some games off of the live streams as well. You know, still generating content, but like, unless you really pay attention to and follow all of his content, you're not necessarily going to know, how he's doing in those games. But I mean, I can confidently say that from watching him play on Hustler and some of the other sort of nosebleed stakes games, he performed very well. Not just in terms of running well, but like he has very much put in the time to understand the game and come in willing to battle. And the results definitely show that.
Yeah, I feel like if you didn't like watch him actually playing on the streams or see his results or anything, the way he describes action on his poker vlogs, he keeps it very simple. Like he doesn't really go into detail on like GTO or anything. So
I mean, it's just like $5.
maybe that's the perception he's trying to give off. I don't know, but yeah, you could definitely tell when he's playing that he's very studied in the game.
Well, I mean, I think there's a very calculated approach there. I mean, there is a subset of the poker consumer sort of demographic that wants to hear the nitty-gritty, go into the GTO, whatever. I mean, I know that I do that at a level that is perhaps deeper than some people want to hear. But I've also gotten a lot of good feedback about the level of depth that I go into. But like, there is a spectrum, right? Some people don't want to hear that. They just want to see the hands, they want to see a lot of money go in, and they want to just see the players turn over the cards and somebody wins 100K plus, right? Like, and that's perfectly fine. But then there is that subset of the population that wants to hear about the GTO and what is the underlying strategy in this spot. But I think Mariano does a very good job of sort of towing the line of finding the middle ground, knowing that his audience wants to see him out there playing at the highest stakes. They don't necessarily need to hear the in-depth analysis about every single spot. So, it's definitely something to pay attention to if you are an aspiring content creator yourself. Know your audience and know what your sort of niche is going to be.
There's the first strat.
We had none on the table.
For everybody tuning in here, of course, you can look up in the top left corner of the screen there. You're going to see the Poker Atlas Tour logo, 3 million plus in guarantees, August 15th through September 5th. That is going to be held at 2 of our locations, Texas Card House, Dallas, and TCH Social in Las Colinas, just about 15-20 minutes away. Both of those venues going to be hosting the tournaments during those dates. Got a couple of fantastic large guarantees coming at you, as well as a lot of smaller events throughout the weeks for all of y'all poker lovers. So definitely go to texascardhouse.com, check out the full breakdown on the schedule. You can also log into Poker Atlas, click into TCH Dallas or TCH Social. You can find that under the tournaments tab as well, or on the main tab to locate the full schedule.
Yeah, it was a straddled pot, 3-bet pot. Benji raising at 2,500. Rom making the call. Gonna flop bottom 2 pair. Got to feel pretty good about his hand right now.
Yeah, Benji here whiffing just about as hard as he can. And while you may not necessarily give your opponent credit for a lot of hands that are going to connect with this board. It's a board that just completely disconnects with yours, and you need to have some give-ups. So Benji there wisely just going for the check and the fold, not getting himself sort of needlessly involved with what would traditionally be, considered a range advantage, where he could kind of take the lead there, having all the aces, kings, queens, etc. of the world, recognizing that sometimes it's best to just dip out. That was a good time to not try to run one over on his opponent. A lot of fantastic comments here in the chat. Very much appreciate the kind words there, Sassy.
2,000. Yeah. Thank you, boss.
300.
Z-Fish here getting involved. 10-9 suited. Running into Benji from the small blind here on one of the shorter stacks. Definitely a spot where he can get a lot of chips in the middle here now and potentially have an all-in situation, depending on some flops and turns. As Z-Fish here contemplates a call, Fernando in the chat wants to know, what's the smallest stakes y'all stream? We typically will do a 1-3 stream out of Austin, as well as some 1-3 to 2-5, 5-5 sort of stakes down in Houston as well. So definitely some low stakes games all the way up to our typical sort of 2-5 match to stack game out of Austin, as well as 5-10, 5-10, 25, 25-50 out of Dallas. So a wide range of stakes going to be streamed here. So go to an ace, king, queen flop. Gin here for Benji. But Z-Fish flopping a gut shot backdoor hearts is going to make the call.
This heat? Might want to bring it inside.
Yeah, you're probably right. Save it. Yeah, man. It's probably cracked now.
Stack size a little bit awkward here. Anytime you have multiple streets remaining and stack to pot ratio at 1.5, always a little bit awkward. Choose the bet size. Standard here is going to be somewhere around 1/3 to 1/2, leaving yourself a reasonable jam on the river. But given the nature of the board, he's going to go for half pot.
It's a lot cooler there.
Half now, sort of half later is the approach. Makes a lot of sense.
He plays golf all the time.
Mallory does the lineups for the Dallas location, not in Austin.
Maybe it's cover story.
Albert Padilla here in the chat. What's up, dude? Hey, man. TCH Austin, I don't know exact timelines. I'm not sure anybody really knows exact timelines, but they are coming up. As Z-Fish here is going to rip it in after Benji continues for 2K, and he needs to find a heart or a jack.
You want to go twice or wherever you want? All right, you can go twice.
You said when you twice?
All right, 2 times. 1 heart, 1 jack to get bailed out here for Z-Fish. There's the heart, but it's a full house. And a brick here on the end. Benji going to scoop the pot and chip up to 17K.
Very nice hand there for Benji.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant spot.
Pretty good flop for ace king.
Yeah. River. Definitely nice.
Yeah, nice for Benji to have the ace of hearts and have the king of hearts not be an out for his opponent. So very fortunate spot from start to finish. And Z-Fish here just kind of ending up in a tricky spot where he's not going to have many hands that are worse to bluff with that also have a good chunk of equity. So deciding that the 6 of hearts turn is just a little bit too good for him to not rip it all in and hope that his opponent is somehow on maybe pair and a gut shot that just doesn't quite feel compelled to call it off. Worried too much about 2 pair set combos, but it is not to be with his opponent holding the ace king there.
Yeah, there's like an intense vibe in here.
I know. Dun, dun, dun. I have less of an intense vibe.
JD forgot to bring the tequila.
I'm sure there's something in there.
Eric R in the chat asking which TCH location is this? It's our Dallas location, located right off of Harry Hines Boulevard.
I should have brought
very
my
close to
Melodious.
635 and I-35 here in Dallas.
They used to bring them here all the time since they didn't like serve anything.
Mike and David asking, are the earnings accurate? They're a little off right now. I think they should be getting updated very shortly, though.
Did you break this for me?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, right when we started things off, it had unfortunately gotten entered in incorrectly to where it was showing, you know, the profit and loss way off, basically for the buy-ins. But I think we're getting that rectified. Because we've gone 3 players to a flop here. Everybody missing by a mile, and it's basically whoever takes a sneeze at this, and it's going to be Yacht Club taking it down with the jack high. Albert, how far is Dallas to Austin? It kind of depends on the time of day and the traffic, but typically speaking, somewhere around 2.5 to 3 hours. And, you know, that's definitely flexible. You can hit a bad stretch and it'll make it a little bit longer, but I would say about 3 hours is kind of a good number to base your travels off of. For anybody interested in playing either the high stakes games here from TCH Dallas or maybe some of the lower stakes or mid stakes games from any of our other TCH locations with a live stream, go ahead and click on the link there in the chat. Fill it out. Let us know when and where you'll be trying to play, and we'll do our best to get you in the lineup. We would love to have as many new players, new faces, viewers from the chat get in the mix, and we will do our best to mix you in. Brass Monkey and Water here heads up to a river. Deuce of spades, biggest brick in the deck. Water will finish with the best hand if we get to showdown, and that is exactly where we're headed.
Could have breathed on that one.
All right, looking like those earnings are much more accurate now. Benji here, of course, up the most after winning that big one against Seafish. Ram up a little bit, as well as a few of the other players, of course, with the $100 straddle. Sorry, excuse me, $100 big blind. Some of these earnings are going to look bigger than the sort of size of the line.
Say like 9.
I don't like poker that much.
Well, look at that. We're up to 700 viewers.
Hell yeah. Doug here in the chat says, can Austin do a stream at these limits? Well, I mean, we certainly could, but we need players to do it. So are you volunteering? Let's get some Doug buys action in here at 5,100, eh? What do you say?
Sometimes one.
I play like
Well, 700 viewers right now. I'm sure we have some new viewers joining us here on our TCH live stream. So just now joining us, welcome to the stream. My name is Derek. I'm joined by my co-commentator Aaron McAvoy from Austin. We'll be commentating for the next 3.5 hours over 5,100. Special guest Mariano, famous poker vlogger from California.
I actually used to Uber everywhere, but I like having a
Albert
card
asking
more.
here in the chat, already answered here by Randall, what is the rake? There is no rake. You pay an hourly rate at every location, at least every location that is above board and doing things by the book. Here in Texas, there's going to be an hourly rate. Social club where you pay to hang out by the hour. No money comes off the table. No money leaves the pot.
I know there's like 24 still doesn't have driver's license.
a lot of them are like that. Especially if you live in a big city.
Harris
just
here
Uber around, it's a little easier.
with number 1, American Airlines. We see a jack high flop. Yacht Club in the mix with 2 overcards, backdoor straight opportunities.
Yeah, me too. Why not? Yeah, I got a car, but yeah. Somebody's telling me like they're like
Yacht Club goes for the check call of 100, so a 1/6 pot size continue on the flop. Very small bet. You don't usually see that, especially 2 hearts and cards that are relatively well connected. Usually going to see a much larger bet, but he does get the 100 out of his opponent because the size up on the turn does send him packing.
YG, how's the restaurant?
Yeah, which one? Harris, which one?
Bradley King
How many
says,
you have?
can you get in the game with 10
right now.
bigs? 10 bigs would be $1,000.
Oh, yeah, I know
No,
about
the
the
min
fire.
buy is substantially higher
He lit his own restaurant.
than $1,000. $1,000 will get you into some of our other streams, though, for sure. Yeah, definitely a 1-3 game, even a 2-5. We'd be happy to have you in with 1,000. So, Bradley King, if you'd love to get in, go ahead and click that link, fill it out, let us know when and where you'd like to play. But this game,
For 20.
going to need a few more blinds.
SAO and 2?
Yeah, 2.
3-bet pot here, Brass Monkey making it 700 to go with the ace queen, and that's going to get the job done.
Thanks, sir. I pre-tipped the dealer at the table a minute ago just by losing hands to him, so. Very smart, so I get better hands now.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I mean, I would say the general attitude of the
Yeah.
YouTube, Twitch, whatever, like viewing audience is that the higher stakes, the more people turn out for it. But at the end of the day, for like actual poker players, people that want to get into the games that they're watching and feel like the
learn
games
from
that
the
they're
game
watching
too.
are also sort of equivalent to the games that they're playing, there's a huge demand for more like 1-3, maybe 2-5 sort of games. It's just hard to create a full schedule of games that are going to appeal to everyone if you mix in too many of the sort of low to mid stakes games. So we do definitely try to provide the most entertainment value that we can with offering things
Probably be at
like
least
quarter
100.
50 and 5100, things of that nature. But we do have the mid to low stakes games available. So if you guys are out there, hit us up, let us know. We'll be happy to get you in.
Just make it around 200.
Yeah, I think we finally found a good balance of what stakes to stream weekly and which ones stream occasionally and stuff. Because like we used to try to do 25, 50, or 50, every single week, and at least for our area, it wasn't as sustainable. It's just tough to get that kind of lineup together every week. And yeah, if we're gonna try to do maybe 50, 100 once a month, that'd be awesome, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it kind of, sometimes it does take a sort of a personality, someone coming in from out of town to kind of create the game around, because it's really hard. I mean, and people oftentimes don't fully appreciate this. So, massive shout out to Mallory out there in Dallas, and to Kristen down here in Austin, whoever takes care of the lineups in Houston as well. It is a massive undertaking to herd the cats, to get the poker players to actually commit to coming in at a set time, to playing a certain stake, not asking too many questions, trying to figure out who's going to be in the lineup and bail out if it seems too tough or whatever. Like, just getting these lineups together, getting these games to happen is a massive undertaking. So big shout out to the staff from Texas Card House that makes this happen. And yeah, absolutely, we appreciate the work that they do so that we get to watch these games.
I think I raised the phone and I just like snap them up. Real fast hand.
Mariano here, gonna go ahead and see that for 750. Overbet of the pot here with the 2 overcards, backdoor straight opportunities. And Water with the 2 overs and backdoor spades of his own is just going to let that go. Mariano here attacking in a strong way and just getting this one through.
I guess it's that easy.
I thought we started this one.
Yeah, we said wait one, right? Yeah.
Looks like they are playing the knit game. I'm not sure for how much per person. Maybe close to 200 or so.
Well, with the blind being 100, I would imagine that the knit game is going to need to be more than a couple of blinds. My guess would be that they're playing for at least 300.
300, 400
a person. 500 seems like the sort of sweet spot, but that is starting to get kind of big.
Yeah, especially for the players that only bought in for, I say only, but, bought in for 10K. 500 to each other player, that's almost half their stack.
425.
Well, it's a substantial portion for sure. Yeah, five blinds at 100 big blind stack is a pretty chunky amount, but we shall see. We'll find out certainly when it gets paid.
Mark Wayne in the chat said they said 250 per person, so that seems to be the most reasonable there.
Okay,
Good
2.5
spot.
blinds. It's definitely on the lower end, but given the fact that we're playing at 5,100 already, that seems quite reasonable.
Got a question from
0.75
Ryan
on
in the
the
chat.
flop, two-tone here, but only one pair for Harris as he has out-flopped Mariano. Mariano going for the check call flop, check turn, and still checking the river, hoping to get to showdown here with the ace jack high. Not the worst board for it to consider perhaps paying off this river bet, but it's a full pot size wager. And a snap fold? Yeah, snap fold. Harris going to take it down, but shows his hand in order to relinquish the nit button. Anybody wondering what the nit game is and what it's all about? Basically, you just need to win a hand and you get rid of your nit button. The last player who still holds a nit button is going to be considered the nit. They have to pay every other player at the table the nit bounty or the nit penalty, which in this case, $250.
200 to play, settle line.
So you win, you get paid $250. If you don't win a hand and you're the last one, you got to pay everybody else at the table $250. So you can think about that as basically you pay out 8 spots and don't get paid for another. So that's 9 times 250. That is a pretty penny, $22.50, huh? Yeah, I don't want to lose that either. So behooves you to play hands, definitely increases the action a little bit.
And it's on TV. Like, how does that?
I'm actually kind of pissed that I'm playing because I always
Spicy flop here, Z-Fish defending from his straddle.
You got me.
JD flopping second pair, checking it back, but both players with strong holdings given the fact that this is the board and the cards that they're holding.
Yeah, I think, you remember that show Fear
Definitely
Factor?
see a call here from JD and some additional action on the river.
Show where like people try to win challenges and stuff, but it's gotten a little away from us at this point. Like
450 in the middle. It's a jack of clubs, does complete the front door club flush draw. Also makes the board a little bit more connected. So it's a little bit unlikely for anything other than 9-7 to be in the mix, and that hand may have played it a little bit stronger. So we're going to go checky, and Z-Fish will take this one down with the top pair flop, no kicker, and he'll feel pretty good about that one.
Thank you.
Got a like goal of 150 here in the chat by Streamlabs. Do help us out. There's 900 of you fine folks hanging out with us here. If you haven't had an opportunity, please do rear back and strike the like button with the force of at least 47 ostriches. We would appreciate you oh so much. Also, while you're there, click the subscribe button and the notification bell to be updated on all of our future streams.
A few people see this, not like
And be sure to tune in and hang out with us for all of the live, free TCH Live Poker action coming at you
If I
throughout
didn't
the
go
week.
with the helmet, y'all would just die. It would be so awesome. How much is it? 550.
Brass Monkey and Yacht Club going heads up to the flop here. Will come ace high. No spades aside for Yacht Club. Brass Monkey currently with the best hand. Yacht Club though with the range advantage and will be continuing on this board with the ace high flop. And it'll be very tough here for Brass Monkey to call out of position. Yacht Club getting it through there.
man, this table is loose.
Queen 9. Yeah, I was actually had a better hand. Really got close to a problem with it.
I think I did see a question earlier in the chat asking if we're ever going to have a stream table at TCH Social. Most likely not. Actually, I know for a fact we're probably not going to do that. Because we already have the one in Dallas. Wouldn't make any sense to have 2 stream locations 15 minutes apart.
250.
Is this always what they have on this TV?
Yeah, it's a pretty big investment. It's a pretty big time commitment as well, just in terms of bandwidth on the YouTube channel. And so, yeah, like if you were gonna somehow run one game at one location on one night, and then think about running a different game on a different night, like why wouldn't you just have players drive, the 15 minutes to the one table? Would make a lot of sense unless you're going to try to do 2 streams at the same time, and that's a little bit ambitious. Three players here to a turn. Pardon me. We've got JD here with a gut shot. He's out of the way. Brass Monkey, top pair and a gut shot of his own. Ram, 2 overs and a gut shot, is going to make the call. And with 24.50 in the middle, 7 of diamonds on the end, going to complete the straight for Brass Monkey. Ram working with just queen high.
I'm sure they could get a cable guy out here to run a line.
Bet fold shows the winner, gets rid of the knit button, and just like that, over half the table, I'd say, or around half the table has gotten rid of their knit button. That's about the point where the pressure starts to build. You start to feel the added pressure of winning a hand when it's just you and sort of 3 or 4 other players at the table that still have their button. And it can definitely lead to some, some looser opens, perhaps some looser 3-betting and defending, things of that nature that can get us into some spicy territory. So see how things develop here as Ram raises it up to 300 from early position with Queen 10 suited. Bradley King here in the chat has a very interesting comment that I'm going to come back to in a moment, as we've got a 9-high board here. A couple of clubs for Ram. JD with a gut shot, and honestly, this isn't the worst spot for JD to come in for a check raise. He is going to have enough club combos that he doesn't need to use his bad gut shots, but he's actually got a decent gut shot, so let's see if he does go for the check raise. He does, makes it 1,200. A bad gut shot would be one without even a club, so having the club, I guess he's going to go for it. Perhaps he just calls or folds his non-club gut shots. Not exactly sure how he's going to structure his strategy here, but does indeed come in for the raise to 1.2K, and Ram is going to hit him with a 3-piece on the flop. You don't see this every day, but 2 overcards and the clubs, he is going to hit him with it. Takes it down as JD releases. Nice play there from Ram. All right, so let's go back to this comment here from Bradley King. And let's just try to think about this as we sort of conceptualize this game. Sounds like a game we play in Maine. It's slightly different. If you lose the dealer, split your remaining stack with the rest of the players. If you lose on the button, like if you play a hand, regardless of how many people you play against, but you lose, you chop your stack in half and give it to everybody? Am I interpreting
I think he's
that
missing
correctly?
a comma in there. So I think if you lose, comma, the dealer splits your remaining stack with the rest of the players. So whatever's left in your remaining stack, you just get deleted from the game, essentially.
So you are playing the knit game, but if you lose the knit game, you lose half your stack, whatever that is. Oh, okay. Yeah,
and they just divide it to the rest of the players. Yeah. That's how I read it.
Dude, that could be either like better for you or like super savage.
That's pretty brutal.
I mean, that's most of the time going to be super nasty for you, because like the traditional sort of penalty size is, 3 to maybe 6 big blinds.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of us are going to have more than that.
100 big blinds just gone.
Yeah, if you get deleted for 50 bigs even. Only, right? Only 50 bigs. That would hurt a lot.
Trying to fish, you can't fish.
On the fish. That's the only, but the fishing, it always freezes wherever they put them.
That's a spicy way to play the game.
Fishing, then you got to cut a hole.
Yeah, the whole thing in the comment about the dealer was like I wouldn't want to play the button at all in that game. I'd be like, I'm folding all of my buttons.
Just contract fold on the button.
Exactly.
But when the zombies come,
Oh man.
It makes more sense that you just lose half your stack.
Yeah.
Or not. I mean, not generally, but like that's how I read it.
Yeah, I was like, how is that like the Nick game as well? It was just like my mind was just blown reading that sentence, but there was a lot going on there that wasn't intelligible for my brain in the moment anyways. All right, Harris here, given the business. He says, no, dude, I open from early position, so you don't get to 3-bet me and get away with it.
Are you in any tournaments at all?
I mean, this is just straight up position play.
Unless we're talking sports.
No blocker required, no nothing, but Water is going to make the call.
This one is at Choctaw.
Okay.
About an hour and a half away.
And dangerous waters we are getting into as Harris has only 9K behind, stacked pot ratio at 2. Comes 9 high, and Water here, of all the flops of the world, this is one of the better ones. And certainly a spot where it would be pretty unlikely for him to just shut it down easy peasy. Very small continue here from Harris. We saw this with the aces earlier. He went for 1/6 in that spot. This is more like 1/5, a little between 1/4 and 1/5. Still a small bet and pretty dusty equity, let's be honest, with no heart out there. Not a lot of turns that are going to motivate him to continue barreling unless he goes for the 0 equity YOLO. King of clubs on the turn, definitely going to favor Harris, as there should not be pretty much any kings in Water's range other than exactly ace-king.
Which one?
It's a big field.
Yeah, and he got 8 or something.
Oh, sweet.
And
that's a big score.
It's a big score. He won like 350.
Harris here continues with the small sizing, 1,600.
Oh, yeah.
Like running deep in a tournament.
My big claim to fame, I finished
68.
68th in the main 2 years ago.
That's sweet. Yeah.
My first time.
Basically setting up a 2/3 river
I
jam.
didn't have any bad B stories until like I got beat.
Definitely a comfortable spot for Water, and kind of no matter what you put your opponent on, like even if you just say to yourself like, my opponent is capable of a bunch of crazy stuff, right? Like let's say that you knew that he was this kind of player that could have 8-5. It's just super awkward. So small bet, whatever. And Harris here with the 8 high gets it through for a tiny bet.
Like a boss.
That's amazing. I love that hand. That was an amazing hand right there.
He didn't think that was funny either.
Wow.
I was going to fuck you up. You didn't fuck you up.
There is definitely something that
Can't really relate.
GTO poker, as far as people try to understand it, just absolutely does not translate to real human emotion.
See, maybe next year will go better.
Right? Like a GTO solver maybe could get behind like a super small continue on that flop. Super disconnected. 9-3 juice, right? Like you can bet small because your range is just like aces, kings, queens. Of course you've got all that. But then to continue small again, that tiny little bet on the turn instead of just being like, bro, I've got all the big stuff. Hit you with the hammer. I mean, that just totally hits you in a different spot as a real human being. Just, oh, here, it's just another 1,600, buddy. You could put that in there. Come along. You know, it's only going to be 2/3 on the river. You can afford that too. It just feels like you're getting owned. And sure enough, 10s straight into the money.
I wonder if
that was him. Yeah, it was King, Queen, Jack.
I'm wondering if Harris has played with YG quite a bit. I mean, YG plays quite a bit of our high stakes games in the Dallas area. Not on our stream that often, but actually, fun fact, he did play on our very first Dallas live stream 2 years ago.
Okay.
Okay.
Check call on the flop from Ram with the pocket 9s. Yacht Club here betting flop, now getting this ace on the turn is going to continue telling a story for a small size. And now the board pairs the 4 on the river. Ram here does have the 9 of diamonds, so he does interact with this board a little bit other than just having the overpair on the flop.
Second day maybe.
And I think Yacht Club here is going to have to go for a pretty big
There's 5
size
colors.
to
He raised.
tell
He was chip leader the whole
a story that Ram might
He
buy
raised
into.
big stack. He had 4 callers behind him. I was like, I squeezed in the big blind. I squeezed big, 35,000 chips, which is a lot of the time.
Seeing
And
only black chips assembled into this wager. This is a very small bet.
And queens again? 'Cause I
Under
got murdered with queens,
1/3.
and I
Yacht
rolled
Club's
over
going to try to
8-3
just
off.
barrel this
I
one
said,
through
"You
and hope
fuckers
his
are
opponent has a missed
and
draw. That is not
he
the
told that
case.
story for the next 2 days to
Ram will
everybody
win.
and got me called
9
like
and
25
4.
times.
You spread your gospel, huh?
He was awesome. Love that guy. He's a good dude.
I think if you went with anything closer to the pot or 3/4 pot, might have got the job done there. But
Yeah. That was huge.
price was a little too good there for Rom, and Rom takes down a decent pot there.
They do both.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky, right? Because you have, anytime you have a pocket pair on these boards, it's like you have no hope of improving, virtually, right? It's like you just have to drill a 2-outer somehow, and that doesn't happen very often. So you're never really looking for spots that are like, oh, this is a really good card for me or something. You kind of have to just start squinting at it and being like, well, do I have a diamond, for example, right? Like that's your only interaction with the board. Do I stop my opponent from having a certain number of flush combinations? And if the answer is yes, you kind of just have to shrug and put in the call sometimes. So even a bigger bet, Ram might have just been like, I don't know. This is just kind of one of the best hands I'm going to have. I've got some removal. YOLO, bro. Make the call. Now, obviously, had his opponent gone for some sort of like full pot or over bet, like that puts your hand into a little bit of a trickier spot, but I don't know. Anytime you flop an over pair on the flop, like, I don't know about you, but I feel pretty good about my hand.
Yeah, usually they don't call. You might fold if I did that same move.
All right, Jack 9-5, two-tone here. Bottom pair for water, but Yacht Club with the number 1.
Yeah.
Still looking
Still
good.
if I have kings,
He's looking to build this pot. There's definitely some connectivity here as well, so a large size could be in order.
Yeah.
Like half pot.
What's your favorite game? Which game's your favorite?
You mean like gambling game or what?
Yeah, I'm saying if you're playing a poker game, they call and you go, oh God, I'm going to that. Is it a home game? Is it?
Water here suspects that Yacht Club could be up to no good. He's going to make the call with the bottom pair.
I'm sure they're common, but
Not a lot of turns going to improve his holdings. He does not have a spade, and there is really no way for him to back into a straight. So you need to find a 5 or a 3 real quick.
It's stupid, so.
That is not a good card for water. Yacht Club here, not going to love it perhaps either, as it does connect the board a lot more, but it's also got the ace of spades, so things considered not the worst. Dante here in the chat says didn't raise aces. That is correct. Just making the call pre, hoping someone would go for the 3-bet squeeze and that he could come in for the back raise. Yet here we are. Another half-pot wager from Yacht Club, 1,500 to go.
The cheating is what I worry about.
cheating worries me too, because again, if you're playing for a lot of money and there's some doubt that you're getting cheated, that could suck. You lose
Like,
6
Seafish
figures.
is look at him, he's sketchy. I mean, he's not American. French. I mean, you know how the French are.
Oh yeah.
We've just eclipsed the 1,000 viewers mark. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate all of you for hanging out with us here on TCH Live.
Yeah, see, I like
If you haven't had an opportunity yet, please do consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Joining us for all of our future broadcasts, as Water is going to come in for the check raise here with bottom pair. He says, I don't need a spade, I just need to have some heart. 5,000 is the check raise here, leaving himself just about 10K behind. If Yacht Club makes the call, you have a 2/3 pot size jam on the river.
You have to be threatened. But they can even be fleeing and you can still shoot.
Straight and flush possibilities out there right now. Yacht Club, though, with the ace of spades, I don't see him folding this turn. We'll make the call. Let's see what develops on the river card here.
Yeah, I mean, and both players basically playing equivalent stacks here. Oh, wow, look at that. King of spades on the end. Yacht Club with the effective nuts. Yeah, he loses to queen nine of spades, but, like, there's only one combo. And, yeah, he's got to be feeling pretty good about that river card. And Water, who has taken an exceptionally aggressive line here with the 5-3-0. I mean, he's pretty much put himself in a spot where he just has to go all in, just YOLO it, and hope that his opponent has either like aces, no spade, or, you know, two pair, right? Like two pair can't have a spade unless it's with a 9, and even the 9 of spades is going to be worried about the queen and the ace. So, you know, he's just got to hope for that scenario. He's going to rip it all in, and Yacht Club is going to just take one more peek at his hand, perhaps, before he puts all the chips in. But, yeah, he doesn't have to wait long. He makes the call. He's like, if you got it, you got it. But, nah, I got it.
Very, very nice hand there for Yacht Club.
Yeah, fantastic spot for Yacht Club. And, you know, you've got to commend Water for having the heart to go for this line. It's super aggressive. It's incredibly strong looking. His opponent just happens to have the one hand that he just doesn't really give him credit for, because, you know, going back to that comment that we had from Dante, he didn't raise with the aces pre-flop. Like, what combos of super strong hands is he going to have?
Right.
At the same time, whenever it runs out 4 to a flush like that, it's just tricky to get that one through. Like, you start going from hoping that your opponent doesn't have 2 pair plus on your previous bets, where you're like trying to get them to fold, to then when you go for the big bluff on the 4-card flush, hoping that they do have it so that they can't have the flush. And I don't know, whenever you kind of oscillate between what you're hoping your opponent has and doesn't have, it just puts you in a tricky spot, no matter how challenging it can be for your opponents to also make those calls. You just really don't know where you're at, and you're kind of just, you know, hoping for the best. It could have been brilliant. Like, let's say that Yacht Club had turned 2 pair, for example, but it's kind of a connected board, so he just makes the call on the check raise and then stuffs it in for 10K, and he's like, what can I do here, right? I don't beat anything. My 2 pair is garbage. Folds it, and that looks like a brilliant play. So, you know,
for sure.
It's just not the run out he was looking for in that situation.
Yeah, super interesting how, you know, Yacht Club electing not to raise the aces pre-flop there, won him a 32K pot there. And I think he was actually going to try to trap either JD or Fire, excuse me, not Fire, Water, because he noticed that both of them did have the knit button still. I'm sure that plays out why he trapped with the aces in that spot.
Yeah, worked out brilliantly, right? Like, I mean, you can already sort of, you know, just get the saliva glands going when you see these knit buttons behind you and you've got aces, right? Like, setting up this trap. And then it just, to have somebody YOLO it that hard with 5-3-0 from the blind is, I mean, it's brilliant. It's just,
for sure.
It's
and you have, the best bluff catcher, aces.
Yeah, I've just got the nut flush. Thank you. I'll take those chips. You could see the look, too. Like, Yacht Club just couldn't believe it. He sat there for a few seconds just like, you're all in.
Yeah, he just wanted to make sure.
I have the ace of spades. Like, am I literally just getting coolered by a straight flush right now? But I don't know. Let's put it in.
Well, we're seeing some action here develop tonight. Already 6,700 in the middle here.
Yeah, these interactions between late position players and the blinds is always interesting, especially when you see someone sort of confident enough in their... Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is under the gun open from Z-Fish. So, yeah, so once again, you know, we saw this earlier with the 8-5. It's basically just taking your range and swinging it into your opponent's face, being like, I opened under the gun. It doesn't matter that I have pocket fours. I'm going to have all of the aces, kings, etc., and a fairly narrow range. So, like, just raise it right back. And he gets that one through. Just reading these comments. I love it. Keep them coming, man.
Yeah,
you
keep
guys,
them coming, guys.
You guys are amazing. We love having you. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, again, if y'all are just now tuning in, y'all are watching 5100 tonight here on TCH Live from Dallas, Texas. You'll listen to the voices of Derek and Aaron. We'll be commentating for the next 3 hours over some high-stakes action here in Dallas. Over 1,000 of y'all in the chat with us. Please do hit the like button and consider subscribing to our channel to enjoy more high-stakes content.
Only 3 in a row.
It's Queen 9 again.
And of course, we do have special guests, Mariano, King Argentina himself, on the table here. Seat number 7, of course. Hasn't really been involved in too many big hands so far, buying in for a cool $50,000. But I'm sure he'll get involved in some
You
hands.
any good quilting events lately?
No.
His wife quilts.
She does.
Hey, if you look at all of her quilting videos, you'll see his feet holding the quilts up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a knit joke.
No, but it should be. That's why he's got the
That's why I
buttons.
started laughing. I was like, he's knitting a quilt.
Oh my God, you already folded? You can't win if you fold, JD. YG, raise again.
I can see him a lot of
JD here getting nit shamed. Appropriately so. This man has barely played a hand.
I saw what Water did.
And I think he's folded at least a few 7 highs.
Do I want to bluff off 5K or pay off 4K?
I'll just pay it.
That's the quickest release I can make with that.
All right, 3-bet here from Benji. Going to get it through. Could have been a spicy spot if we had 2 players playing big clubs, but that's going to be the end of that one.
The only problem with this felt is that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, one additional sort of wrinkle to the play that Water went for, right? He has the knit button. And I'm all for sort of fringe plays. And you know, honestly, again, like, I'm not taking anything away from the attempt. But I think that there is tremendous value to, when playing the knit game, going for those crazy spots when you don't have the knit button, right? Like, you've gotten rid of yours, there's maybe some other players involved, and like, your plays look even stronger when you don't have the knit button, so those are the times to go for it a little bit more. I do think that having the knit button just really, it's almost like the cherry on top of everybody's hero calls, because they just know that you're really incentivized to get rid of that. So, wow, what a flop here for JD, huh? Top 2, Ram gonna continue betting though. Small size, makes a lot of sense here given the vulnerability of his hand to the 1 over card. Trying to sort of maintain the betting lead here through the turn, as JD will go for the call and check it over again. Ram predictably checks it back, and we see a free 6 of diamonds on the end. Front door spades do miss.
Any of you guys playing tomorrow?
And for that reason, the front door sort of gut shots and things of that nature brick out. I think JD here could go for a large size, try to get called by pretty much exactly what Ram has.
I think the game's full, like, when I asked to get.
I gotta pull some strings for you, man.
But also,
JD agrees, goes with the overbet.
yeah.
I love the play. I'm not sure if Ram can make the call here or not, but he doesn't have a spade. So pretty much one of his best bluff catchers here, I would imagine. Yeah, pretty quickly comes to the conclusion that this is the time to hero it off. JD did have the knit button as well, so great spot from JD, perfectly recognized.
Yeah, there's so many levels involved, right? When you have the knit button, you have the overbet. They also play a lot of high-stakes poker together, so they have a lot of history with each other. I mean, yes, the king is out there, but you know, with the overbet there, it's very polarizing. Doesn't necessarily have to have one king when he's repping sets or missed draws.
Yeah.
All right, there goes the payout from Water.
Hey, Ron, Jimmy, why do you want some?
That's usually my favorite.
Yeah, painful spot there to have gone for that massive bluff, get called by the aces, go down to the felt, and then come back in just to have to pay out the 250 to everybody. But Water will not be deterred. He's got some yellow birds there, and sitting on
Really,
a nice,
most people hate
tidy
the center.
stack
They
to
want
try to spin things back up.
Leave it on the table.
Alvin here in the chat is like, you can go 3x pot when all the draws miss. Make it really hurt. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the overbet there. I think JD picked a good size with the quickness that Ram called. I mean, potentially you could have gone bigger, but yeah, no, fantastic
So
size.
call and raise to
Obviously.
400 bucks.
Ooh, Mariano, back to number 1. Let's go.
Top set here for Mariano. So Rom with nothing. We'll just fold to continuation bet here for Mariano. Unless he has some evil intentions there. No, he will let it go, and a very nice hand there for Mariano. Look at that. Stack's getting deep here after Yacht Club doubling up through water. JD just added on 5,000.
Still the quietest table ever. Still not used to it.
Oh, yeah, I'm wondering if this is how you guys always are.
No. Usually JD can't shut up.
Yeah.
And me, I'll be honest.
I need taco chips though. I need to get unstuck and then I'll.
Yeah, you need to get unstuck.
Yeah. I only talk to it a lot when I'm winning.
All right, Harris early position with
Don't we
black
all?
10s. Open up the action of 425 off of the $200 straddle. Brass Monkey here on the button. Gonna go mining for sets with the pocket 3s.
Figured you might need it.
Ram getting a good price from the big straddle. Gonna make the call, so 3 players to a flop we go. Whew. Top 2 here for Ram. Backdoor hearts to boot. Ooh,
Oh,
what
wow.
a turn card, though. Harris gets to see this free 10 of diamonds on the turn, and Ram is basically at the top of range in full trap mode. 8-9 did just sort of get there. There is backdoor diamonds, so plenty of cards that can come on the river that could slow things down. But right now, Ram is just hoping somebody has something, and he is about to run into it. As Harris here should immediately start building this pot. 24-25 in the middle. The bet is 1,000. He's going to bump this up, but looks like 26. 2,700 is the bet. And this is a bit of a scary card, right? Like, you don't love the 10 of diamonds here, especially being out of position. So yeah, Ram is going to make the call, but wisely not going to go for a third bet. 6,800 in the middle. Stack to pot ratio is under 2. Other board sort of texture changing card, ace of clubs comes off. Now a lot of other kind of pair plus flush draws, right? Like ace 6 diamonds. You wouldn't really give your opponent ace king of diamonds given the pre-flop action, but you know, there's at least one additional combo with ace 6 of diamonds out there that you are now concerned about as Ram. Doesn't go for a block or anything on the river, checks it over, and Harris goes for the big 4,000, 2/3 pot size bet.
Tough spot here for Rom.
That's the employee table.
That needs my money. Save some of my own money.
Coke Zero.
Dude, you're putting
Alvin
it down.
here, guessing that Harris was going to go for the big overbet all in.
I thought I was the only one with a Coke
Opted
Zero
for
for
the
that.
smaller size, trying to get paid by some one pair holdings, right?
Fucking inject me with
The
it.
ace comes off, it makes it a lot harder for something like King Jack to make the call, so
It does not.
goes for the smaller size, is going to get paid. And perhaps the wisest move that he could have made there, not going for something too big and giving Ram a way out. So Ram, a little bit of a punching bag here.
I like Coke Zero.
And going to get beat up for 7.7K.
Kind of the opposite.
Those are the profits
Copy it all.
for Harris.
Like 0.
Wow.
Very nice hand there for Rom. Or excuse me, Harris.
I'm an espresso guy, actually. I love
He's French. What do you expect? You like a
Seems like Alvin's a big fan of the overbet. I guess he's surprised he's only bet 2/3 there. Maybe expecting a pot size or a little bit larger bet there from his student.
I mean, I understand the, you know, you're definitely top of range there with the turn set. It's a very sort of disguised hand, whatever. Like, you do like to go for the big sizes there, but the ace of clubs on the end, it's just such a texture-changing card, and some of the bluffs got there, right? Like Queen Jack just was kind of like, I don't know how good you can be here, and I have some equity, so I'm just going to hammer it. And then you obviously just river the nuts, right? So that's going to be in your big overbet jamming range. Just unblock all of the pairs, 2 pairs, whatever. I don't know. Lumping tens in there, I do think you are potentially asking to get some big folds. And you never want your opponent to be able to hero fold something that would pay off a reasonably sized bet. So, I mean, we can see, and certainly the result there was that 2/3 was a fantastic size and choice. So, you know, well played by Harris.
Bad joke.
Did you eat any escargot?
I actually did. Come on, man.
I've tried it. It's disgusting.
I saw somebody sent a picture of it. And they're like, "How do you eat this?" I was looking at it. I was like, I don't know. So how do you eat it? Do you like use the fork and like pull it out? Okay.
But that's snail, right?
Yeah.
Frog legs.
Frog legs are good.
Yeah. Good stuff.
My granny used to cook frog legs, but you know, not like the French.
It's like,
Yeah, I tried alligator.
it's stuffed meat.
Water here going to take it down at showdown. Top. Pretty scary run out. Ram here. Doesn't take a lot of damage though. Top pair, no kicker.
You don't eat it every day. It's once in a while.
It's caviar.
Number 33 in the book.
He's just like microwave and escargot in the microwave. Just like, all right,
Hour 15
One thing you
into
do
the
eat every
program.
day is baguette and
Thank
cheese.
you guys all so much for hanging out with us. Still over 1,000 of you fine folks in
Croissant?
the viewership. We want to thank you guys again for hanging out
Sorry,
with us
croissant.
on this fine Tuesday evening. Hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Hit the notification bell to be updated on all of our future broadcasts. And also don't forget, top left corner of the screen there, we got the Poker Atlas Tour coming through the Dallas area. TCH Dallas and TCH Social in Las Colinas. 3 million plus in guarantees all throughout the weeks between August 15th and September 5th. A $1 million, $500 buy-in guarantee, no limit Texas Hold'em tournament, as well as our main title event.
That is not the best customer.
Pardon me. $1,000 buy-in, $1.5 million guarantee prize pool. Both of those expected to far
They
exceed
would say,
the
"Oh, would
guarantees.
you like the large?" I'm
Come on down, hang out with us. Come on in from out of town, out of the country, get in on the action.
Yeah, actually I do.
Win yourself some of that money,
Give
eh?
me 2 big Macs.
That's my plan. I'll definitely be up there.
You know, in France, you don't drink
And hopefully,
ice water.
we get ourselves a Deuce 7 single game going. Maybe on one of the sort of off days, something like that, where maybe there's some,
It's true.
you know, some PLO games or something like that that we aren't going to play there, Derek. We'll get a Deuce 7 game going.
For sure. Yeah, it's just a matter of I'm already kind of prepared that I'll be working 6 days a week during that tournament series.
They do this light show.
Okay, so I'm going to have to give you COVID to
This
get
is
you
how it
to
goes.
play. You'll call in sick and then just be grinding 2-7, 2-7 on the side.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Because
I kid, of course. But here we are on the turn, 6 of hearts.
Who are you wearing, blue jeans?
Board. Ram working with the ace high, yacht club on third pair. Sorry, second pair of
that's
eights.
a good point.
But I speak just enough French to sound like an idiot.
But hey, if you try, they appreciate it.
Yeah, they did appreciate it.
Like if you say
Je
bonjour,
m'appelle Briand.
there you go.
Yeah. D'accord. Désolé.
How do
I
you
got all
say your name?
the.
How do you say your name in French?
Je m'appelle Briand. Briand. That's French.
Ram
I
goes
took it for like
for
that long in high school.
about a 2100
It's not my strong
into
suit.
38.
practice, you know. It's just like when I first came
Club
here,
here.
I mean, I was
No,
terrible.
no spade, no heart in hand. So pretty decent bluff catching type hand. I mean, the challenging part, of course, is what do you do on the river? Because Ram has 7.3K behind, so you make the call here. He's kind of got like a pot-sized jam. And are you calling if it just like bricks out? And what if it's a low heart, say a 2 of hearts? Like, are you letting it go there? You know, Yacht Club correctly surmising and sort of, you know, thinking ahead. What am I going to do on the river? What do I do if I make this call and then X, Y, or Z happens on the river? You know, if Ram doesn't give it up, we're not happy about it. You know, there are no good river cards for us aside from just like a 8 of diamonds. You know, I mean, 10 of diamonds, sure, we're okay with that. But like, there's just not a lot of good cards. So he's not planning on improving. He decides to let it go. It makes a lot of sense. Ram gets away with one.
My mission, as long as I'm living in Texas.
I saw this video actually. I'll send it to you from YouTube of the. Like it's called like the Chinese Cowboy or something, but this like Chinese exchange student was going to school at Texas Tech, right? And he spoke English some, but like people made fun of his accent. So he's like, he wanted to get a country accent, so he started working on this ranch and just like studying and like practicing. And now he has like a thick Southern draw American accent. It's like Chinese guy. He's like wearing a cowboy, has a thick Southern draw. It's like it's very impressive.
Good for him.
Very impressive.
That's kind of funny.
River Rat in all caps. Is the Bad Beat Jackpot still available? It is not still available. The last Bad Beat Jackpot was won by someone down in the Rio Grande Valley once again. We have not had it return for a couple of months, but it will be back at some point, so definitely stay tuned. And if you are around a TCH location here in the state of Texas, I would say in the not too distant future. I don't know for sure. I'm definitely not sort of trying to, you know, convince anybody of anything. But the Bad Beat will be back.
And it plays out without you in it.
When it is.
We might get after it.
I hope you win. Or lose.
We probably get
You
after
know, you have to lose to win the Bad Beat Jackpot, right? So.
So I hope you lose. Yes.
Yeah. I hope you lose. Water and Z-Fish here on this 8 of Hearts turn. Check call from Water on the flop. Checking another big bet here from Z-Fish on the turn. He is going to take this one down. Have the best hand, but certainly bluffing in his mind.
Yeah, we probably jam on his ass on the turn.
The tiny kicker.
I said if he wasn't in our hand, I wish we could
It's
battle.
going to be tough for anybody to be up or down Taco Bell money tonight, you know?
Queen 7 off.
I mean, I think $50 is sort of the smallest unit of measurement here. So Brass Monkey is kind of stuck like Taco Bell money, and like that's about as close as we're gonna get here for the rest of the night.
I probably jammed the turn.
I mean, when you start playing 5100, maybe you gotta start upgrading the type of fast food joint these players go to. You know, so maybe like. I don't know, what's a tier or two above Taco Bell? Taco Casa? I don't.
I think you just take fast food completely out of the equation. But I'm still trying to live in my Taco Bell world over here, you know? But yeah, you definitely start going into a fine steak cuisine.
Hudson
such,
House,
you know.
or like Uchi, like that's just eat Uchi every day.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, well, you know, one trip to Uchi is a good chunk of change. JT, you know, that's like a trip. Him and a
Yeah, if you bring a whole crew, you could say Mariano's up an Uchi trip for his boys. You know?
Him and the crew. Joseph, this is in Dallas. Thank you for asking. Thank you for tuning in.
We really appreciate everyone chatting in the live stream with us. We do love interacting with y'all. If anyone has any questions about, you know, Poker Atlas Tour, our live stream, or about any of our card rooms here in the state of Texas, please throw it in the live stream chat. We'll be happy to answer them.
How much?
425.
David Pratt here in the chat says Taco Bell is the best fast food. Fight me. You don't have to fight me, man. You've already got my full 100%. perhaps more. Agreement.
Yeah, Lauren and I are big fans of Taco Bell. Big reason for that. It's one of the few fast food joints that have actual vegetarian beans. Yeah, so she is vegetarian, so like she appreciates that if she wants to eat like a bean burrito or or spiced potato soft taco.
I would have put you on the straight question.
Good stuff there, man. Z-Fish here with Choctaw Nuts.
I'm sorry.
Gonna go for the raise. Basically a min click over Harris's delayed C-bet.
Flip second.
And Harris is like, I don't know what's going on. I have king high and pretty much no hope of improvement, but like, you min clicked me.
Charge up time.
I call.
Yeah,
Debating on the turn.
he did it before this.
And now Z-Fish here,
now.
yeah, I mean, he's completely committed to making a bet here. And he does indeed go for 2,300. Harris has to let the king high go. I mean, is the 5 of diamonds, is that the card you're worried about? No, but like, you literally only called hoping that your opponent was just going to shut it down on the river. So, understandable, but, yeah. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, are you reading David's? Yeah, it's so true. They have like, what, 6 or 7 ingredients, and it's just... I mean, it's almost like everything at Taco Bell tastes the same, right? Like, because it's just the mix of the same stuff. It's just like the ratios are different, right?
It's the ratios and the textures, right? Because they're like, oh, this is a soft tortilla, or this is a hard shell.
But now
or
we have the
mixed
crunchy
in
shell
like,
in the soft shell.
Yeah, or like my favorite is when they mix the the chips, right? Or what, like the tortilla strips into the burrito or whatever to give it that extra texture. I mean, you know, they're godlike when it comes to.
They turn a quesadilla into a burrito, the quesarito.
Oh, dude, and I'll tell you one thing. The thing that probably speaks to me the most, and I'm sure it's just like crack cocaine mixed in there or whatever it is, the chipotle sauce that they have.
Yes.
It's like chipotle cheese sauce. I don't know, maybe just 100% soybean oil and whatever, but like, it is incredible. That stuff is.
The rest of my family did, but I haven't been yet. Okay. I was so young when I was like 7.
You just got 2 Taco Bell connoisseurs here on the live stream.
Yeah, watch the viewership just plummet as we talk about Taco Bell. But here we are on the turn. Yacht Club with Queen Jack of Spades. We've got 2 overs, gut shot, and spade flush draw. Brass Monkey is in the mix with an up and downer. That's 1.7K.
We're okay.
Yacht Club here with a bit of a decision. Could go for the call or the raise. Does just decide to call. He's in position. And the river is a 9 of hearts. So there it is. Both players improve to their respective straights. And this is real nasty for Brass Monkey.
33. We got the third nuts against the absolute nuts here. We're definitely going to see more money pile in here as Yacht Club is running hot tonight.
Yeah, full-blown nuts for Yacht Club. Half pot size bet here from Brass Monkey. And honestly, Yacht Club could go for it all. Like, there's really no reason for him to do anything else. And he does indeed rip it all in. Brass Monkey doesn't take long to make the call and find out the super bad news. 9 was not what he wanted to see.
Yeah, that one sucks.
And another $30,000 pot headed towards Yacht Club. And wow, what a night here for Yacht Club so far.
Yeah, things are going very, very well for that man right now. He has been the recipient of 2 massive pots, both times holding the stones. What is effectively the stones, right? Like Queen 9 of Spades, straight flush, whatever. Get that out of here. I mean, there is nothing better than just being like, hold on, did you say you're all in? Because I'm looking at the nuts in position. This is, yeah. And did he bought in for what, 10K?
He might have bought, well, I mean, we can see how much he's up here.
Oh, he bought in for 20.
Yeah, looks like he bought it for 20K, but I mean, still a great night here for Yacht Club, up almost 30,000. Harris not too far, but well, little behind him there, up about 11,000. Benji at 8K. Mariano up 1,000. Everyone else in the red. Water here, still the big loser though, down 20,000.
Thanks.
Can you find a fold there or no? Do you have to call 100%? I mean,
That one was brutal.
you make your hand there. I mean, it's
4 and 7, 9.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think you can ever fold, right? I mean,
Well, so I guess the bigger question is, given the action, do you give your opponent enough hands that are inferior to 7-6 that are still betting for perceived value
17.
that you beat, right? Because 6-7 beats everything except for
Jack
7
yeah.
and Queen Jack, right?
Right.
So can you find any combinations of those that make sense? And then compare that against the number of hands that were like turn set or something like that that is also going to go for value. And I'm not sure that a set is ever doing that for value on that board, right? So you need to try to find those things. Then you can try to answer that question for yourself. Because I don't think it's as easy as just like 7-6 is the best hand you're ever going to have. You can never fold, you know, move on. There's multiple questions that have to be answered, and I think that's really probably the biggest trick. I mean, it's not really a trick. It's the biggest procedural sort of thing that you can add into your game, is asking yourself not just questions about how strong your hand is and whether or not you're at your top of range, whatever, is what is my opponent capable of doing? And if they ever have a substantial number of hands that they could be betting for value that you beat, like, yeah, you probably shouldn't fold. You probably just shouldn't fold. And that's a better metric perhaps than like, I'm at the top of range, I can't fold.
Yeah,
right?
especially in like a live setting where players tend to play less balanced, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I guess yeah, one problem with just sticking with like, oh, like what hands make sense, like in that exact spot, right? The only hand that makes sense would be Queen Jack of Spades, with how Brass Monkey was like, you know, firing on the turn there. Like you don't really see many of the offsuit combinations call the turn, right? So
Yeah.
so like, yeah, like on one hand, right, you're like, okay, there's only one combo hand I'm losing to, but
Yeah.
how often, right, like you were saying, how often do they jam for value with a set or the same straight or a two pair? Probably close to zero, right? So if you get to that conclusion, then yes, you could probably find a fold.
Or something.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, if it's one combo, then you start asking yourself about bluffs. Is my opponent capable of bluffing even one combination?
I mean, if you want to
Because as soon as the answer is yes, then it's a snap call, right? If you only give them Queen Jack of Spades and nothing else for value, and then you say, is my opponent capable of bluffing even one combination? If the answer is yes, boom, you're snap calling.
I don't love the
Right?
7 deuce game.
So,
I don't know why.
I don't know. From that perspective,
It's not fun if you're having
it
to
may
fade out
be
a ton
that,
of times,
of course, it's
but
calling
you're the one
100%
actually
of the
winning
time.
with it.
Right.
Now, I think we'd have to go back, watch the action, look at the bet sizing, really try to decipher whether or not there are any other hands that could be betting for value, what sets might be in there, what two pairs, what bluffs could get there. I mean, right, there's a lot to dissect there to try to just, you know, distill it down to 100% call or not. But definitely do appreciate the question. I mean, we can talk about most of these hands, you know, into infinity, because there's always a different approach. There's always a different way to look at it, try to distill it down to your own level, your own kind of approach and strategy. And we're all going to have different styles, right? I mean, some people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I totally bluff with X, Y, Z here. And another player would look at you slack-jawed like, what are you talking about? How could you never do that? I would be never doing that, right? So, you know, each their own.
Not on yet. Wait on your favorite bluff.
Anyway,
Yeah, not to, I guess,
Sometimes
not a hit on Yacht Club's game at all, but realistically, yeah, I don't know how many hands he actually has a bluff for an all-in sizing there. So
It's not on this hand.
Yeah, and that's super important. I mean, that is probably the easiest and most exploitative observation to make is looking at your opponent and of course accumulating data over multiple hands. You know, if you play with this person on a weekly basis or something, you can get a lot more information. But if you identify someone that you have never seen bluff on the river, particularly in like a check raise spot or raising all in over a bet, then you can almost rationally give that person 0% bluffs.
right.
And that will save you a lot of money because, I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, a lot of us have learned this the hard way. Some of the biggest pots we've ever lost have been all in on the river.
Right.
And we've tried to rationalize in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you start doing the math, you start running the numbers, and then you're like, oh, you're literally telling me you had the nuts by going all in.
Yeah, you're like, I need to be right
yeah.
1 in 5 times, and
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. You know, you do all that till the cows come home. And at the end of the day, that dude is 0% bluffing, and it only comes down to, can they be value betting a hand that I beat? And that's like the line, you know. That's the only place you need to go, man. You don't have to be doing any of the math. Forget about pot odds. Get it all out of here.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like playing a lot of PLO lately has been helping with that too. Where like I've been able to just like fold full houses easily on the river. It's just snap folding full houses.
I love this from David Pratt. If you have seen someone who has never bluffed on the river, quote, I feel personally attacked. Yeah, David Pratt, you might be one of those guys. But I still love you, buddy. All right, bet a 700 here, 1/3 on the flop from Mariano. Benji is going to come in with the check raise. He says, I've got 5 high, and this board doesn't really connect with me at all, but how much of it can you have? Not much. This is a good one. See how Mariano proceeds here. Gonna make a call with the best hand, 8 high, well out in front. And it's the 3 of diamonds. That is one of the few cards in the deck that Benji can represent. 6,300 in the middle. Benji, the effective stack on 15K.
Is it that close?
The betting lead. And
What do you say?
yeah, I mean, half pot here is sort of standard.
635 for George Bush, depending where you come up from.
But if he wants to give himself maybe a little bit extra room, you know, he could go like 2/3, 2/3.
I mean, I knew it was close, but I didn't know it was like 10 minutes close.
All right, half pot.
With traffic, it can be like an hour. Not an hour, but like earlier when I got here, I was like, I don't quite have enough. It's like,
There it is, gets it through, shows the 5 high with a cheeky little look over, and Mariano does not return the favor with any reaction. There's a little table tap. After the fact, but nip button gone.
Just setting an example.
For Benji.
How to get rid of it.
You're gonna have to show it, so might as well.
Yeah, 3 players in the positive, everybody else stuck here. A lot of players down a sort of moderate amount, but Water and Brass Monkey here down a big 200 big blinds. All right, early position open from Z-Fish with a pretty dusty hand, ace-3-0. JD gonna hit him with a 3-piece up to 1,000. Ace-Queen. Folds back to Z-Fish, and this should be an easy pitch.
Yeah, how much?
Sort of like 19 maybe?
I say that, and Z-Fish is coming along for the ride. Both of these players quite deep. And there's a pair for Z-Fish. JD, pre-flop betting lead, range advantage, continues for 1/3. Fish calls. We're pairing 6 now on the turn. Not a good card here for either player, but not really a consequential card, as neither player should have a lot of 6s. Certainly some 6-7, 5-6 in there at a small frequency for both players, perhaps maybe even some ace-6 suited, but we go checky, and it's a 7 of hearts on the end. Let's see if Z-Fish goes for a small block, trying to get called by exactly what JD has. He does. 700 into 35. And JD is going to pay it off. So well played, Z-Fish.
2 pair. With a 3.
Nice value bet there from Z-Fish.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the block sizing that really gets overshadowed by people sort of putting the block out there with a very vulnerable hand, getting called by a very strong hand, but one that is vulnerable to the nuts, just calling, right? And people sort of give it the golf clap. They're like, nice, you lost the minimum. And at the end of the day, you're not block betting in order to lose. You're block betting in order to win a small amount from a hand that can only call a small bet, and that may or may not turn itself into a bluff if you check to them. So it's a pretty narrow little range that you're attacking, but that's what you're doing. You're not trying to bet and set a price for how much you lose. Yeah, sometimes that's a side effect, and that can also be good, but you know, that right there was a perfect example of the block size getting paid, and hell yeah, you get some value that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And if you checked it over and your opponent bombed it for 2/3 or full pot, what are you going to do, right? So, yeah, great stuff.
Hey, George in the chat. What's up, buddy? All the way from Germany. Saying, what a sick lineup. Heart. Hope to see you very soon. I know you're going to be here in the next week or two. And I know we'll be battling on our live streams again. I'm sure you might remember him, Aaron. He went by Shorshi on a few of our streams.
Oh, absolutely. Battle of the middling two big pocket pairs here, but Ace King High going to slow things down. Benji, of course, with the 3-betting range pre-flop, is going to come in for a continuation bet a lot of the time. And wow, you know, I am just completely proven wrong here. Brass Monkey hits him with a raise. And this just doesn't make a lot of sense, though, right? I mean, we can see that Brass Monkey actually has the best hand, and Benji has a hand that's very vulnerable to this raise on this board. But, like, what can he have?
Oh, that had me beat.
Yeah.
The value bluff.
Exactly, yeah. That was 100% a value bluff.
Yo.
You don't see that in LA, do you, huh?
And Twinkle Beaver here in the chat is like, nope, wouldn't slow me down with 10s. We just fire blindly. Yeah, dude, you are the same person as Brass Monkey.
I was going to say, that's a crazy game.
David Pratt, yeah. In 97, that's a tidy little double up right there. Well, double up on the 10K wager anyways. Well played. Ace King for Water. He's been a little bit quiet since his big blow up with 5-3. Cutoff open. Mariano in the small blind. This should be low frequency, but he's going to go for it. 1.3K to go, and Z-Fish next to act. Again, this is late position, early position. by early, I mean small blind. So cold 4-bet here
didn't
going
have
to
an
be
ace or
pretty
king there.
effective, and he's got great removal for this play.
I have a lot of ace king in that situation.
Yeah. I wasn't even talking about ace king. I just wanted to have
7,
and
it's
ace.
basically a min
block it,
click
yeah.
here.
Pretty sure and
Yeah,
ace
this
was
is
probably
super
good.
strong. Water, though, does have the goods. Ace king is off suit,
Maybe 9.
but you know, when he runs into this dynamic, he's not going to have a lot of better hands because he's going to be opening cutoff a ton, right? I mean, you can have 9-6 suited here in the cutoff. You can have 10-7 suited, right? Like you can have these suited 2-gappers and things that you're just going to be pitching immediately. When this goes raise and cold 4 in front of you and you have ace king, I mean, this is a really good hand. Now, whether or not you go for the 5-bet or not is always kind of a question, but I think you have to here. I mean, the small blind has already expressed some interest in the pot, and this is a min raise, so I think water needs to come in for the 5-bet here.
And yeah, I mean, given the positions, Mariano could have hands like 8s, 9s, as weak. I mean, as weak as like 8s, 9s, 10s. So you can almost want to try to get those hands out of the way, right? That you're currently behind. And looks like he will just jam it in there.
Yeah, this is maybe a size that I wouldn't have suggested. Of course, it takes away all of the decisions, and you're likely to have the best hand, and if you are behind, you've almost always got outs unless you're just up against aces.
Well, it
But
was too late when I said anything.
yeah, all in there.
I'm just telling you. That's how I inherit a lot of nibbles.
If you lose in a show, you can still get them down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Once you get into 4 and 5-bet land, we start really just like splitting hairs as to like what you're trying to accomplish and everything.
Right.
And it's certainly worthy of study. It's worth paying attention to. Most of us just aren't getting into 4 and 5-bet pots, though. Let's be honest. Right? Like certainly like 1-2, 1-3 even. You know, you see a 4-bet like once a session.
But you try.
It just doesn't happen to us very often at these low stakes, or maybe even the mid stakes. You see it a little bit more frequently. But
Yeah, why did you just have
man,
7-6 off?
you get into that territory and really try to figure out, okay, I got to try to keep his ace queens in, so I go with a small 5-bet. I'm in position, right? Like you can level it all the way up as far as you want, but at the end of the day, he just rips it, takes it down. Yeah, Alvin here, he's got to take, he says, ace king O, indifferent between small 5-bet and fold. Yeah, I don't know. Cut off, strong players. I think I'm coming in for the 5-bet, but the jam is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I did not expect the jam either. That was.
I think you probably would outflop.
I mean, he ended up winning, what, like 4 or 5K profit, right? He got the 2.7, the 1.3, he gets the 4 plus the trail, so over 4,000 in profit by just stuff in there and not having to worry about anything
Big
else.
hand the other night with
Not bad.
kings versus 10-9.
Oh, yeah.
JD here drawing to the queen high flush. Check, flop on
Or huge for the game.
king high board here for Ram, so he goes for the delayed C-bet of 1,000.
Got me.
Yeah.
JD, he doesn't really have a good way to improve other than a spade, but call. Could just have the best hand, right? From time to time. Repairs the 9, and when JD checks once more, Ram's going to feel really good about trying to get value from his hand. Although the 9 pairing, he does lose to some 9x, but yeah, I mean, I think he just go for it here.
Yeah, I think you'd be just worried, a little too worried about monsters under the closet against strong players like JD. You have so many hands you can target to get value from with top pair, top kicker.
Monsters under the closet, those are the scary ones. You gotta watch out for those.
Or sorry, under the bed.
No, I understood, but words are hard, so I appreciated your delivery there very much so.
Monsters inside the bed, under the closet.
Yes, that's the inside the bed. Those ones are real bad. You don't want a monster in the bed.
Some Freddy Krueger stuff right there.
JD here in the blender for this full pot size wager. Almost thinking about calling it off, but he's got itchy folding fingers. I can see it already. Spidey sense is going off a little bit, though. And, ooh, JD may sort of swing the pendulum back the other way and find a call here. Oh, he does.
Oh,
He does.
man. God.
I really
Net
like
button
this play.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Ram, I really, really do. There's a couple of different ways that I think you can play these monotone flops to get maximum value when you have a strong flop hand, but is just obviously nowhere near a flush in terms of overall strength. And that right there was just a fantastic way to play it. Like Ram executed to perfection, I think. Being in position, flopping top,
But
like
still, I'm with you. I don't watch baseball.
give it the you know, the Italian mwah right there. That was well
David
done.
Pratt, he beats Ace Queen High. Yeah, I mean, they also have probably thousands of hours playing with each other, Rom and JD. So there's just levels upon levels in that spot with the addition of the knit button. And if any player is capable of just having a bluff in that spot, it would be Rom.
Yeah, yeah, and that's part of the commentary. It's part of the analysis that we can never really do full justice to, because you know what we've seen and what the viewer has seen is going to be potentially disparate, and then also just like, do I fully understand the capability of Ram in terms of what bluffs he can have there? No, like of course not. So we just kind of have to go with what's presented to us, and I mean, fantastic recognition by Ram that he can go for a full pot size bet there, get paid off by ace high with a spade blocker. Like that's brilliant stuff.
Plugging it in.
I can't remember the exact low card on the board. It was King 9 X, but you know, Rom could have hands like 7-6 suited, 6-5 suited, or maybe there was a 5. I can't remember exactly. But, he could have Jack 10, Queen 10, like so many hands.
Got rewarded.
As he should.
About 15 grand.
Has to be 250, right?
He turned a flush draw.
225. It's got to be a 250. Increments of 50. Because that's a small blind.
Yeah.
Yep. 250.
Mariano here policing the bet sizing because 275 no good.
Yeah, there's a lot more money in the pot now. So.
I can't take it. So I'm gonna lose my mind.
I love it.
I think we did see Harris raise the 225 earlier, so that must have put Mariano on tilt or something. It just felt
He had to say something.
He
this
had
time.
to say something the next time it happened. He was not going to allow it.
Yeah. Units of small blind only. Get out of here.
I mean, he is right. He
They
is
should have
right.
that game on this TV.
Yeah, man, for real. They should put something on this. This tournament clock is depressing me.
750.
They've got a tournament clock above the table back there. I love it.
I don't even know why, because the tournament's in the back corner.
Yeah, I started off playing here.
Well, these guys
Like,
need to know
last year.
how much longer till they can buy in. Late reg
So
might
it's kind
be
of weird
ending.
being
I
back
don't
here
know.
after not being here since like April.
Oh, you took a break or something?
No, I just don't play here. I play
Twinkle
the other
Beaver,
one, and I
he
also
was
play
basically
the one
calling
other
out that the bet size was an in-between number
Because they,
that didn't involve
when the
the
new one
unit
opens,
of
like, all
small
the bigger
blind.
games
It was
come
like
to
275 instead of 250 or 300. And it's a little bit
Oh, that's
nitpicky because
Oh, I haven't seen anything
I don't
yet.
think anybody here is going to try to make it like,
I like
you
how
know,
much Texas
210 or
cares about
something
the
over
card
$100 button or a big blind.
Because there's really, you got to drive
But
home to gamble.
it tends to keep the game a little bit
From here, you
cleaner
gotta drive
when
all
you
the way
don't
to Austin.
have a bunch of just random chips going in and somebody having to squint at it and be like, what is that, right? If it's just units of 50
places in LA are
for the
just
whole
so
night,
messy, such a dump.
you know, the bets are just easy to identify. So I think that's all it is.
Yeah, everywhere I've traveled and played, usually a card house is dumped. Like Florida, dumps.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
So we're in a good state then.
Brina wants to know if there is a live stream tomorrow. I actually don't know the answer to that. Do you know, Derek?
Yeah, there's going to be a quarter 50 game tomorrow night.
Perfect.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to commentate. I do have to work 4 to midnight tomorrow. But I do think they have either you or someone else filling in. I don't know if they've told you even.
Oh, I will not be filling in tomorrow. I am going to be driving to see my family.
Oh, well, someone will be commentating tomorrow. They have to.
Perfect.
You decided not to participate in the PLO fund.
Alvin here, not a fan of Harris sticking around to see this jack on the
that game's too
turn.
big for me, man.
Is going to finish with
Plus,
top facing a
Plus, I don't even
very
know how to play PLO. I mean, I know the
bet.
rules, but I'm just terrible.
4,800.
I really like it, though. It's so fun.
It was crazy.
I mean, I guess it's really just
Do you guys have a
2/3,
lot of that
but
here? I think Houston
not
has
a pleasant place to be with
That's
top
what I
pair,
keep
top
hearing is
kicker.
that Houston's a spot for that. Yeah.
You're either just like miles ahead because your opponent
fun
is
game,
bluffing
it's so
something like
addicting.
10x,
I went to the Card House Champions in
Or
Houston. I'd say
you're
80%
dead to
of the
rights.
PLO.
Yeah.
You're about to pay this
I don't
off.
like PLO that much.
Well, once you
And
switch
wow,
to PLO,
Harris
it's so hard to
sees
go
that
back.
turn,
Yeah.
goes for a
two
check
card, you know.
call
There's a lot more gambling.
Yeah.
on flop and turn, and is still able to get away from it. So Alvin here.
On a non-board changing river card, I'm really surprised he folded that river.
How many cards are in his deck?
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm really surprised he floated the
Maybe
flop, to
6
be honest. It looks like Alvin agrees with me there.
5 card.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the standard is to just sort of let it go there. Also just having the jack, right, that's going to interact with a lot of your opponent's bluff on the flop that you would like them to have. So yeah, certainly a flop fold most of the time, but does get away from it.
I don't know where it came from. Forever. Some big Congress games.
That sounds fun.
I mean, and again, that's one of those situations where if you were to look at it purely from a what are the best hands I'm going to have when I get to this spot, I mean, ace jack is never a
Everywhere else in the
fold,
world, it's
but he correctly gets away from it, perhaps just picking up on the implied strength of
Texas
his
Big O
opponent's
means
triple
5
barrel and saying, you know, it doesn't matter how good it is, just gotta get out of there.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Registration, it says Big O, so we gotta go with
Yeah.
All right, 3 players, flop.
Texas always likes to be its own player.
Have you played at the launch?
Turn a flush draw for Yacht Club. He's got a majority of the equity. Is well behind the second pair of JD and the effective third pair of water. Going to check through his turn card. King of Diamonds immediately brings in the flush for Yacht Club, and he will win
I was easy.
Oh, okay.
If you hit
if we
Austin
get
anywhere near traffic,
showdown.
it's the worst now.
Yeah.
Last time I drove through a storm to get there, so that was slower.
Is the drive like scenic or it's just a straight shot?
Straight shot.
Checks through once again the
If you
4
go
of
to Fort
hearts.
Worth, it's way better. It takes a half hour longer, but it's like through the
Mallory chiming in here in the chat says Alvin and Eric going to be commentating.
So I don't mind.
So fantastic. That should be a great
Always take the slow way.
stream. Hope everybody is able to tune in.
You can drive.
Get some
from right here, you
insight
can drive
from
16
Alvin
hours and
Teaches
still be
Poker.
safe. You go to Brownsville in the tip.
Holy cow.
Yeah, both south and east.
Yeah.
East is about 11 hours and south is about
Modest
14
bet here from Yacht Club, but yeah, once again,
Oh my
JD sniffs this one out. He's like, you
5
know,
high flush, he's widening out.
I've got a blocker to a straight, I've got a pair, but you're just not bluffing enough. Let's go. And sure enough, Yacht Club had the
He's locked
goods.
it up.
And that'll move him up to 28K plus
It's not his
in
fault he's hitting,
earnings
right?
here on the evening. That is by far and away the most. Benji and Harris hold on to about 8K in earnings. Ram and Z-Fish basically up Taco Bell money at this point.
It's exciting.
Everybody else stuck.
Cornhole.
You ever watch Cornhole?
Yeah, it's so boring. I can't stand it. I don't like watching myself play.
Brian, when they shoot 180, they get very excited. It's really cool. They get the triple 23 in a row. It shows the tables everybody's drinking. They're fucking losing their minds.
300.
It actually feels like a fun sport.
Well, Alvin, we'll just have to get you in,
I
man.
would think it would be exciting.
You know, we'll do a three-man team
I like the guys
action
got
one
the
night, or
sleeve
maybe
on, he's pitching.
maybe Derek will have a night off or something like that. We'll definitely make it happen. That'd be awesome.
We definitely have the technology to do a 3-person commentating team.
What is an unfair advantage?
That is the cool part about our new software that we use for streaming.
I just
yeah.
remember seeing like a It's like the World
The
Tour
one
Championship
thing that I am
Germany or something.
perhaps
You guys are sitting around like,
just
drinking
the
some meters of beer,
most
just
slightly
cheering them on.
concerned about
We're gonna get a fun
is
time.
that
We're gonna
Alvin
get-
and I will geek out
Just like,
so
you're
hard,
like, I'll drink it with the boys, but like,
digging
oh, yeah, there's
into
also
the
dark
nuances of every hand.
Here, I mean, that's what I'm here for. Here. I'll balance y'all
I
out a
think it's
bit.
like Scottish, like the flipping of the
Yeah.
wall.
No, I mean,
I'll
like,
go watch that.
I mean, you're obviously a poker player and you get a lot of this stuff, but like,
They're carrying
Alvin,
like 8,000 pounds.
he's a coach, and I don't claim to be as learned as Alvin, but you know, I definitely feel like Alvin and I could just go hyper nerd on every spot, and it would potentially just become a bunch of techno babble.
We'll all order Taco Bell and eat in our respective locations, Austin, Dallas, and Chicago for Alvin, and just compare.
Dude, that'd be awesome. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, kind of a funny thing with Waters' nickname here. You remember Fire?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're good friends. So that's I guess he's saying that he puts out fire.
Okay, all right. Is there maybe there's an earth and a wind out there too? I don't know.
Were you able to
Honor,
catch
you're
any
getting-
of the final table for the 250K, Aaron?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Were you able to catch any of the final table for our 250K, our monthly 250K?
Oh no, you know I wasn't. I was playing the
I'll
Choctaw
go play that game.
tournament, get my ass kicked around up there, so I was not able to tune in. How'd it go?
It was insane. I mean, we had 370,000 in the prize pool. First place was 60,000 for a $300 buy-in.
I played
Wow, nice. 200 buy-ins.
With $300 buy-in, but yeah, same difference at that point.
I'm always trying to figure out what wins. So. Oh my God! Somebody else just beat me.
Yeah, bricks down the line here for
like this,
Water.
like, oh,
Harris
beat now.
with a pair of fours going to finish with the best hand if we get to showdown. David Pratt here. How about hijacking the stream talking about lead-based room temperature superconductors? Well, I would love to talk about that. That is a pretty fantastic announcement. If it's true, if it's real, the world is about to change, and that would be pretty spectacular. Big fan
Good try.
of room temperature superconductors, obviously, as we all should be. And yeah, no, if that one isn't a hoax, or perhaps data, perhaps just kind of not quite up to par or whatever. Such is life, we will all move on, and at some point, I think the technology will be cracked. But man, that is one of those big. That's one of those things where it's like, oh, everybody's life changes the moment that really becomes a reality. So. Anybody that's interested, maybe wondering what the hell we're talking about, go ahead and search for, just Google superconductivity news or something like that. You'll be able to find some articles about it. Basically, it's potentially major breakthrough coming through. And as David Pratt says here, bigger invention than the transistor, honestly. Yeah, no, it would be on that level in terms of the amount of, or the level at which it would affect our daily lives. So pretty incredible stuff. Definitely worth checking out. Benji here, pretty incredible hand, pocket king. I'll raise it up to 2K.
Saw someone asking if we're gonna have the same dealer all night. No, we're getting close to the halfway point, so Salvador will be rotating out here in just a bit. We are gonna go heads up to the flop here.
Not a great flop here for JD. He's going to brick a lot of flops, so that's to be expected. This is sort of a fringe call for him. He does pick up 3 to a straight, 3 to a flush, though, and that's going to be enough for him to stick around. He doesn't want to allow Benji to just push him around with any old 3-betting hand. King of clubs here on the turn, giving Benji the stone colds, and JD doesn't really beat anything at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like this summer night, it's not bad, but still
A little bit of accounting going on, but Benji here
I gotta be at work in the morning. Y'all don't.
Pretty much breathe on his stack.
Changes the dynamic
Reaches
of
for
it.
chips, and JD will be pitching his cards into them up.
I'm in IT.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just a regular
But he's,
job.
of course, hoping
They play a lot.
against all odds that JD somehow has king queen. Maybe even just queen jack, right? If he chooses the right size, half pot here or something, he might get a call. Like a queen jack suited, ace queen. And he is going to go small, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
He hard blocks all of the best hands,
It works out, you know.
and JD can pretty much only have a middling strength hand, so goes for the small size. Makes a lot of sense. JD here, though, is going to sniff this out. Ace high is certainly going to be pretty dusty.
Construction.
He can have ace jack, ace 10, clubs, right? Like, he has some hands that can
It
continue.
depends on the time of year. Like,
Ace 9,
I travel a lot usually in the summer, but like when school's
He's
back
up.
and stuff and the kids in school,
Yeah,
I get to play a little more.
of course.
Yeah. I mean, there's. Trust me, I've gone through
Mariano's
stretches
gone a
where
little bit quiet here as of
Play
late.
5 days a week, 6 days a week.
Drifted down in the chip count. Started off a little bit hot. Got
Depends on what's
aces,
going on,
got
too.
a couple of good hands under his belt, and then has really been looking down at some pretty raggy cards here as of late. So not a lot of hands being played by Mariano, but
I'm good, thank you.
a couple of big pots go in the way of Yacht Club. That is for sure. That man's still holding down the #1 spot on the leaderboard, and the largest stack at the table, I think, or at least very close to what Mariano has.
That was the easiest.
2007 was like before the bubble too.
Yeah. People were playing and gambling a lot. It was fun.
And it's kind of like a boom right now too, right?
Yeah. The boom really started in COVID. Like end of 2020, first of 21 here was just.
Raise from ram in the hijack, call from water on the button. Mariano now queen jack suited
That's
in
when
the
I was
big
playing
blind.
every day.
This is a big squeeze spot or just a flat call. Both plays certainly reasonable, but folding out of the question. Mariano going to go for the big squeeze, and big indeed. 3.6K, so 6x raise. Is out of position, so I like the size. Maybe you see some people go between 5 and 6, but I think Mariano here going to be much more comfortable going with the larger sizes, especially given the fact that, you know, he's played at larger stakes than this. He knows he can apply maximum pressure, given the fact that he has his opponents covered. And just, it makes a lot of sense to go bigger. You know, people don't necessarily give it enough credit in terms of pot odds that you're giving your opponents when you do go for a squeeze. I had a situation at the Choctaw main event where it was an open from under the gun 1, a call from under the gun 2, and a call from middle position. And it was just a 2x open. But like once you add up all of those chips plus the big blind, the ante, and the small blind, there is a very large amount of dead money out there, right? Like I needed to squeeze super big from the cutoff in order to price those guys out. And by quote unquote pricing them out, I ended up getting stacked on the hand and getting busted out of the tournament. But like the size that I had to raise to was quite large. And I think a mistake that a lot of people make is they don't fully recognize how big you need to raise in relation to the initial raise, just because of all the calls in between and the blinds and everything, right? So anyways, all of that is to say that I think that Mariano's size there is fantastic. And if you're ever in doubt, go bigger.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't ever be like,
Especially in
is
Texas,
this
right?
too much? Like, no, you can't really go too much unless you're one of those guys that just like goes all in with aces pre because you got aces.
All right, well, we are at our halfway point. Salvador, thank you for dealing the first half of our stream. Kevin dealing the second half here, but we'll be right back right after these short messages regarding our Poker Atlas tournament that we'll be having here very, very soon.
Attention Dallas poker players, over $3 million in tournament guarantees for the Poker Atlas Tour at Texas Cardhouse Dallas and Las Colinas. 21 events, August 15th through September 5th. This massive series kicks off with the Dallas Duel, a $1 million guaranteed no-limit hold'em tournament. And what bigger way to close the Poker Atlas Tour than with the $1.5 million guaranteed title event? For full details, go to texascardhouse.com now.
That's right, over $3 million in guarantees coming very, very soon here to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Between our two locations, TCH Dallas and TCH Social, we're going to have over 21 tournaments. Of course, we're starting our things off with the $1 million guarantee here. As you can see on our screen here. $1 million guaranteed tournament, $500 buy-in, 30K starting stack. As you can see, starting flights in our Dallas and Las Colinas location every single day, August 15th through the 19th. And then day 2 on August 20th. Of course, our final table will be streamed that day. Good luck to all of the players looking to play in this tournament. Back to the action here.
Huh?
What do you do?
I won. 3-bit. 3-bit for my Nick kid.
Not real funny. Kind of funny.
And the flop quads, and that's like
Your hand was good, but we
Yeah,
just
how
looked
running
and we
good
didn't
are
even
you?
look
yeah.
at it.
You flop the quad.
Everything gets set up perfectly.
All right, back to 2 cards and 57 here at the halfway point. Got some dusty hands going in the bin. Benji, though, on the button, going to raise it up with some red 5.
Can't do it with 3-6.
That'll take it down.
You lost the flip.
Who knew I had an over?
Running bad.
Thoughts were not that likely.
Switch dealers on you. You walked away early. This guy's running 2 dealers. Like, we need a new dealer.
Ram up some Taco Bell money, 150 in the pocket. Z-Fish up a little bit more, 7.5.
But yeah, the flop might be like
everybody
5,
else
4,
up
2,
or
and then
down
turn 5.
substantially more than those 2 players right there.
You guys want to do the Nick game with the new dealer?
Brass Monkey and Water basically down about the
You
same
want to start the
amount.
Nick game with the new dealer now?
180
You want
biggies.
to start this hand?
Yep.
All right.
This hand it's on? Yes.
Mariano, snap yes.
Wait, this hand it's on? Are they doing? Oh, Nick game. I thought maybe they were doing 7 deuce or something.
I just like side games.
I do too. It gets boring.
Yeah, like it gets so addicting. It's like playing without any side game. Almost feels like nothing's happening, you know?
Makes it very sleepy.
Yeah.
All right, Benji opens.
Always
Brass
need to
Monkey
chase that
defends
high.
from the big blind. Out flops Benji with a pair of 8s. Bet a 400 and a check raise here from Brass Monkey. Definitely a low frequency play with second pair. Your opponent's going to have just all of the better hands in terms of sort of range advantage here. And you're going to have a lot of bluffs and things that are going to be happy to check raise along with 2 pairs and things. I don't know. He's getting additional value as Benji makes the call here. So certainly can't fault the play, but you just don't see it very frequently. Both players going to improve slightly on the turn. I mean, I guess Brass Monkey here, of course, does not have the best hand anymore, but picks up a gut shot, is what I meant to say. Benji does improve to the best hand. Top now. And yeah, this is kind of the weirdness as Brass Monkey. He took over the betting lead and is now betting nearly pot, like 80-some% pot, with effective 3rd pair and a gut shot. I mean, he's pretty much bluffing with his hand at this point.
You got a Coke Zero.
Can I get a pity?
And Benji, who has improved in pretty much the only way that would really make him feel good, is coming along for the ride. Brick City, deuce of spades on the end, and Brass Monkey is finally going to shut this down.
It's nice to see that bottom card pair sometimes when you do have the top pair holding, counterfeiting some 2 pair holdings that your opponent could have.
Yeah, 10-8 just got put in the dumpster, right?
It's a very likely holding that Brass Monkey could have by raising the flop.
The question you do have to ask yourself, right, is like if you are Benji and let's say you go for half pot for value and your opponent check raises you all in, are you willing to fold? Which is why he's just going to check this behind, right? He's like, I really don't want to face that because ace-jack is probably too good to fold, but folding really feels like probably the only move if I get check raised. So instead, he's just going to bypass all of that, short-circuit it, get rid of the nit button, win what's in the middle, just check it down. Makes a lot of sense. Benji here, without winning any like huge pots, is just like slowly climbing up the ladder here.
Take that.
Not quite knocking on the door of top earnings from Yacht Club here, but I mean, he has gone nowhere but up and has really put on a clinic here so far tonight.
Could have gone really bad if you had 7-9 or something. I was already thinking when you bet the I was like,
To be honest,
I'm not even sure if I want to hit the.
I could have had Jack Deuce is actually is in my wheelhouse on that from the big line.
Hey, Lord.
But when I
King
turn to
7
gutter,
suited here for Benji.
Raise.
Thought about it for a moment and then did decide to let it go. I mean, problem for him is that he's up against an under-the-gun open from a player that has been not only running hot, but traditionally going to play a little bit tighter. So understandable to just let the King 7 go. Although it is one of his sort of good 3-bet and fold candidates. So you can see the thoughtfulness about that. Would have flopped second pair, but not the best hand as Mariano did go for the 3-bet and is rewarded with the top pair.
only calling with the better.
Yeah, let me hang myself here up the straight and decide to chop it.
You played right.
I was on high bet and you check
2/3
raise.
sizing here for Mariano.
Even if you don't
Yacht
have it,
Club
it's
with
gonna
some
suck.
sort of goofy backdoors, and that's about it. Gonna let this one go.
They should make a nip game where you only get to release your button if you don't have a pair.
Yep. I've been saying that for months.
Really?
King high or worse.
Yeah.
That's what it has to be.
But see, we were playing where you can't release your nip button if everybody folds pre-flop and you have a pair. So
Yeah, you have to remove
got
certain
pair of
hands.
eights
Like
and
you can't
raise,
play
everybody
aces,
folds,
kings, or
you
queens
shake
to
eights.
get your nip on away.
That's what I'm saying. King high, your hand has to be king high or
Yeah,
worse.
I mean,
I like
if that's
that.
the qualifier,
What?
you
Why
must
not ace
show
high?
down
Because
king
then
high
you
or
could just have
worse
ace
in
king
order to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
that's-
okay.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, king high or worse.
I like that, but I think
Like
that
right
you have
there,
to
if we're gonna
dramatically
win the count,
increase the.
'cause I hit a pair.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
then you're turning into 7 deuce, or it's like
So you want to try to
way
fix-
more hands of 7 deuce, right? Because this is all the king high or lower combinations. So
Well, no one ever wants to play it.
Well, and it's exclusive though too, right? Because like you have to not only
I don't even play king high or worse. Yeah, so like,
be like in the pot when you get to a flop. Like obviously
And then not
you
connect
can
to the board.
agree with your dusty hand. Like that's the easiest way, right? Like let's be honest, that is the easiest way to get rid of your button.
Either way.
But like as soon as you see a flop, you got to try to win this thing without improving to a pair or even king high. I mean, obviously, I assume they don't mean like it comes
But
king
every other
queen
time I've had that.
4 and you win with 7 deuce and like, oh, there was a king on the board, you got king high, you don't
Yeah,
get
maybe
rid of
next
your
round.
thing.
would be
Right,
fine.
I
whatever's
think
in
that
your hand,
counts,
yeah.
right? Like, but still, at the end of the
I don't know
day,
if would want to take
that game seems like a lot of fun just because
Yeah,
it's
it's pretty
kind
hard.
of
It takes me
hard.
a long time.
It's
You
almost
have
like
to
7
raise the
deuce,
bounty a lot.
or sorry,
Yeah,
deuce
like
to
1,000
7,
person or something.
where like it's kind of hard to not make a real
It'll take a
hand.
while.
You know, people say it's hard to make a pair,
You
and
could
that's
even
true.
just, like,
But
run
it's
bad
also
and
hard to
just
make a really
hit
good
every
shitty
time.
hand. So, you know, there's kind of a middle ground.
You can get rid of your.
I like how Mariano said that. Like you could like in a way run bad for a while and make too many hands. And then you have to
Yeah, absolutely.
like you could just win hand after hand after hand, and then at the end of the day you have to pay $1,000 a person. It's like, wait, what just happened? Like what? I literally won every hand at Showdown, and then connecting with the board, and then I lost the net game. I have to pay $10,000 or whatever, $8,000.
Yeah, it happened.
Not qualified.
Yeah, it would have
All
qualified.
right, so
no, yeah, thank you.
nit But
Who gets the extra button?
gone.
Before?
I think we've got 3 gone. That leaves 6 remaining.
Does Z-Fish kick you? We'll give him the button.
He did, so.
That'll let him, you know. You still get rid of yours, right?
Oh, yeah, it was Z-Fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. He touched me.
No, anytime you can add a different wrinkle to a game
Still like your size Z-Fish. You're still not going to have to pay, don't worry.
God
in
knows JD can
a
never get rid of 2 buttons.
understandable
I'd have to buy
and
out.
simple way,
Have to buy
but
out.
yet that adds another layer, like that's pretty cool.
Wait, what if you're the last one left?
I mean,
with both
I'm
of them?
sure there is something akin to a Nick game that you could
it should be,
create.
right?
I'm sure someone's already done it. But a way to add something in, you know, similar to what they're talking about there, where you can only get rid of it with a certain qualifying hand, whatever. That's pretty cool. It'll be fun. Reina here rolling nut low. Got a 1. Sorry, Reina. Better luck on the next
Do
one.
you like the 7 deuce game?
The bright side is that you still have
Actually, on your side,
2.7 million
not a huge
TCH
fan of
Live
it,
loyalty
but
points,
usually
and
if,
it's
like,
going
a bunch
to
of
be
people
real
wanna
tough
play,
to break out enough ones to get rid of all
I'm
those.
never going to be Debbie Downer and say no. But
Yeah, same.
9s, 8, and 9-8.
Wait, what makes you not
all
like it so
battling
much?
it out here.
I think like I think it puts some of the players at a huge disadvantage, and it's usually the players that I don't want to put at a disadvantage.
Yep,
You catch my drift?
Yep. I get it. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Is there's people who are willing to do 20,000 all in with the 7 deuce, and I just don't like that. It's not like that's
All right, the 9-8 is thankfully out of the way because they're drawing super
They just
slim.
don't like to
Water
have to
and
bluff
a ram are in there.
or they don't like
Both
to
players
get
with
bluffed
effective
a whole
third
lot.
pair.
7 deuce, like, you know, if some guy who's like splashing around, he gets shown 7 deuce over and over and over, like he's not gonna like that. So it's usually the reason I don't like it is for other players.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I personally I don't care. I'll play.
Ram's going to wait it. Pair 9.
I've seen like the sickest bluff with
Good
it.
fold by the 8.
There was like on the river.
Ram
There's
is-
like already like 50K or something, and the guy and the flop was like 6-7-2, and he gets like the guy in position like he has 7 deuce and he bets, gets check raise, calls, bet calls, and then river the guy checks and he jams all in for like 40,000 when his 7 deuce got counterfeited.
Oh, nice.
Would have been pretty sick. The other guy called it would have been like 110K.
Yeah.
And the guy like really wanted to call, like he thought for like 5 minutes and then folded. I was like, when that guy turned it over, I was like, he absolutely deserves every dollar for winning with it that time versus whole stack.
Yeah, maybe you have the best hand.
It's kind of hard to imagine that. The other guy has to be trying to call him with something worse than a 7.
It's Vegas.
All right, JD here with modern era aces, ace 5 suited. Taking it up to 1,000 over the early position, middle position open from Z-Fish. Ram now, suited king queen. Definitely is a dynamic where he could come in for the cold 4, but a cold 3-bet call doesn't feel great, so he's just going to opt for the fold. Z-Fish here, though, has shown that he is not afraid of tangling with JD. Makes the call. Flops an up and down straight draw. JD has bricked this as hard as you can.
Yeah, no backdoor anything here, except for backdoor wheel draw. Oh, no, excuse me, there's a 7 on the flop.
Z-Fish with straight and flush draws. About 700 here, 1/3 pot. JD has the best hand, but this is one of the worst boards that he could possibly imagine with his hand. He'll let it go. Not feel too bad about it. Nicolo says in the chat they should play the small blind jackpot game. Lots of fun. Tell us about the small blind jackpot game. I imagine this is some variant on the, you know, button sort of pitches in an ante or something. It usually goes on top of the button.
You win from the
And
small blind, I
Small
imagine.
blind. Yeah, you win the pot. You win what's on the button.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about, Nicolo? 'Cause that one is fun. I do like that one.
With a score on it.
Yeah, the first time I was introduced to that style of game, it was, you know, winning on the button, and then like I think most people started realizing like that's no fun. I mean, winning on the button is the highest percentage position to win a hand from. So it's like, let's just change it to winning from the small blind.
Oh,
just
like
makes
you
sense.
were playing an anti-game where the winner on the button would get it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Or that's how I was introduced to it. Like someone brought it up, and then like everyone was talking about it. Be like, that doesn't make any sense. Like if it should win from the hardest position to win that money.
I like the burger button, which is where you start accumulating tips on the button. And if the player on the button wins, then the dealer gets the tips, and it's kind of a lottery because, like, if the dealer gets pushed and there's 50 bucks there, like the next dealer is probably going to get it. So that's kind of fun, but yeah, that's not like a, you know, there's no like actual player incentive other than being like, yeah, bro, I earned you a $50 tip.
Actually, Aaron, I'm about to text you a picture of a burger button from a few weeks back.
Ooh, must have been a good one. Nice tower of chips floating around. Mariano here, pocket queens. Going to get outdrawn on the turn. Z-fish here, 1850 in the middle. Going to go for a little bit of value. 1500 is the bet. Mariano takes another peek. Does not have a spade. So of all the things that his hand has and does not have, that is one of the things that could compel him to make this call.
Daniel Dunn in the chats. That's what's up, Derek. How's it going, Dunn? Mariano the blender here, and deep in the tank. Obviously wants to make the right decision, regardless of the size of the pot here.
That is a nice tower of single dollar chips on the burger button. Oh my god, that's like 50 bucks in one.
It was in our PLO game here in Dallas. I was actually flooring, and that's when I snagged a picture of it.
Nice.
And they were like, they kept telling the dealer they wouldn't add on anymore if they colored it down. So they, or if they colored it up. So they, it's funny because the dealer had to like hold the top and like
sure to move the button. Dude. Mariano here deep in the tank. I mean, he loses to some weird two-pair combos and some funky gut shot straights and any random ace. So yeah, he settles on the fold. Good fold there for Mariano. One of those spots where it's like, it doesn't matter that I don't have a spade because I just so rarely take front door spades and fluff it. Which is actually why I love seeing people mixing those front doors missed flushes into bluffs again. It's like a pendulum that swings, you know? It's like, there was a time back in the early 2000s and maybe even mid-2000s where like, you missed your front door flush and you were definitely going for it, you know? People could expect that you would go for it. And then it really fell out of favor, and especially with solvers, basically taking those as like bet check lines all the time. That now, like, nobody expects anybody to take those as bluffs anymore, and now it's like, this might be a good time to be like, I bricked some diamonds, let's go for it.
Yeah, you know? we've now re-leveled ourselves into having missed flush draws in our bluff.
That's right.
There's some more discussion about what game they're going to play than anything.
All right, 7-6 suited here, $200 straddle. Takes it up to 500, and water from the small blind going to come in for a raise. That's up to 2,000. Z-Fish. With one of those hands that's like real nice to make a call and play in position, because like, you either drill something or have a hand that is like, yeah, I could probably just fold and not worry too much about it. This is one of those flops where he can pretty much just let this go. I mean, he's got some backdoors, but, you know, depending on the size here.
Yeah, I totally agree with that statement where it's like, you either flop so much equity where you're like, you're just about to get the money in, or you just flop dust and you're just like, oh, yeah. You're not like sad to fold bottom pair or second pair.
Yeah. Water does bet 1,000, so a little bit under quarter pot. Z-Fish here does have a fair number of turn cards that can improve his hand, and just enough that he's going to go for the check raise. it is a very disconnected, sort of discombobulated board, so needs to have some of these dust burgers to mix in that also has some, you know, backdoor equity. Like you can imagine any 4, 5, 9, or 10, maybe not as many 10s just because it's starting to get out of your wheelhouse a little bit, but any 4, 5, 9, or heart, which is a good chunk of the deck, is going to improve him to some equity. So he could potentially continue barreling. Then he's just going to get it through, have ace high fold, and you know, that's always pretty good.
Coordinating with him?
Yeah.
All right, so you're doing
Except when we're
that.
in the hands together and he beats me every time. That's not coordinated.
That's just how you're paying him.
Oh, yeah. That's not
All right, Yacht Club up 25.5. Water down 23. To the ends of the spectrum, everybody else somewhere in between. No Taco Bell anywhere in the mix.
Barely.
Everybody up or down. Good
You're
chunk.
supposed to say, I keep a bunch.
I really don't travel too much.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, 2 days a week is not bad.
Yeah. Plus, every time I play, it's 20 minutes from my house.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not like I go around, like, sort of rounder or whatever.
That's like he does?
Yeah,
How
exactly.
many hours a week do you play?
All right, somebody has a
That
hand.
varies.
It's Ram. He's got Queen Jack O.
It's a big week.
Make it
What?
500
How much is a
to
big
go.
Like 40 hours would be.
Oh, that's not bad.
Jack 4 here.
Cashman, I bet.
Mariano, not a believer in the Robbie. And
Yeah, he plays way more than. Back when I like played here, I would see it like
three
if I was
players
playing
still
like
in
10
the
hours, I would still see him there when I left.
I don't know who you're talking about.
That's like
This guy we
the.
play, younger guy.
He's like even younger than me.
He's like 20?
Maybe he's 20 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's up for 20 now.
He's good too. But
Yeah, that guy is.
I love Cashman. He's so funny.
I wonder if there's anyone that plays more than he does.
His real last name is Cashman.
What is it?
His name is Cashman.
That's pretty
Cashman.
It's pretty badass.
I mean, it's kind of like Moneymaker. Like,
Yeah,
good last name.
for a poker player. But yeah, have you seen anyone play more than he does?
No, that's the first person I was thinking of. Who plays the most? Like, you come up
700 to
with
go
these
from Yacht Club. He has not been shy about mixing it up here from early position with some
Yeah.
sort of middling hands.
I like poker,
by
but
water with
that's
the
a little
ace
bit
king.
too
And
much.
Z-Fish gonna ditch
Mariano
the
was like his
sixes
last
here
trip.
pretty
Yeah,
easily.
That was his last trip.
And you know, when you're opening hands as wide as this from early
Played
position,
some Mexico. It's really nice.
yeah, you definitely just have to let these ones go. Even against a player with the nit button.
That doesn't count.
makes a lot of
Doesn't
sense.
This king doesn't count.
Not qualified.
Yeah,
No, I mean, you're good. You're good.
And down to heads up here. It looks like it's Paris and
we got his
AD.
face.
One of them would beat the
Even
nit.
through the mask, you can see it. He's like, no.
No, you're
I
good.
think Yacht Club's still in there with a nit bun, so we got 3 players
Talk
left.
about that.
Oh, you're right. He does. He's got it
That's
sort
why
of
he
behind
decided
his
to
wrist there.
count
You're
as
right.
It is easier to spot the nit bun now that we have the
Next
green
one.
felt. Oh my god, Cashman joining us in the chat. I guess his ears were burning, or he was probably already watching the stream. 350 hours in a month. Jesus. when I'm just trying to get 20 hours a week over here, Aaron.
Wait, what does 350 hours a month? What
That's how many hours Cashman plays.
350 in 1 month?
Yeah, he told me probably 6 or 7 months ago, like he was trying to do, he had some prop bet with someone to do like 400 or something like that, but I guess he averages 300 a month.
That hurts me. That like hurts my soul to think about being at a poker table for that many hours a day.
He's a grinder, man.
That is beyond grinder. That is just masochistic. But good for you, man. 10K a month for the club. Not quite, but I mean that's a lot. That is a lot of hours.
Yeah, anyway, that's the one.
We got the usual suspects over there with
Bring out like drinks, like that look really, really nice. And like
the
bring
what?
out the cake.
I'm
the
saying
How
smoke.
many
Yeah,
hours a
yeah,
month
yeah.
did you say you play, Aaron?
It is kind of shocking. It's
Oh, I mean it varies for me because
Massage, get their hair.
I play a lot of tournaments on the weekends. So you know, you factor that in, and it takes up a good chunk of my total hours. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at like half that, you know.
Yeah, I think I just hit 100 for July. So like, I mean, that's me like playing a lot too. Or like I feel like I'm playing a lot in 100 hours a month. So that I can't even 3 times what I did in July. Jesus.
No,
And I
that's
was playing like 7-8 hour sessions on my days that were off.
that's a lot. Yeah. No, I mean, if I put in, you know, an average of something like 6 hours a day throughout the week, and then I play a tournament, and it could go anything from like I could be in for 3 or 4 hours and toast, or I could play all day 1 and into day 2 or whatever, right? I mean, like there's a lot of different ways that can go, so the number definitely fluctuates. But I mean, I'm not putting in 12-hour days every day, which is kind of what you need to do to hit. Okay, maybe not 12, but like 10-hour days every day for a month. That's crazy.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that must have been the month that you told me about the prop bet, Cashman, where he hit 410 for his highest month. He averaged 350.
We've been to Argentina.
Can't do it. Z-Fish here needs a spade, doesn't find it. I guess a jack or a 6 would have worked as well, but Harris will finish with the best hand if we get to showdown, which he's got bottom pair, so here comes a big bet.
You like dark?
He's going to turn it into a bluff, and Z-Fish has a blocker to the nibble. Would be the 6-9
2 years ago.
straight.
For people, everybody.
But he's going to let it go. He says, whatever you're betting over there is probably not going to fold if it's for value, so let's get out of here.
Unexpected, but well played.
Like, surely Z-Fish not folding.
I think it's just you, buddy.
Did you get blocked?
Oh, you? What was it? I missed.
It was king 5 off, not even suited. And flop was just like super wet. I had king 9. Had the sizzle. There's something about.
Still about 25K in profit here for Yacht Club,
Really interesting. That folds to me.
holding the line at the top of the leaderboard.
Fluffer bet.
That's
See what
a
happens.
shadow out.
King Jack O for Mariano, going to raise it up. Z-Fish quick call behind, and now JD in the small blind. Some dead money out there. Nice little spot to go for the 3-piece. 2,500 is the bet. 5x. You know, could have gone for the 6, but you know, 5 to 6x somewhere in there. Always a good time. And this is going to get the job done.
Take it, JD, take it.
Shows the king queen. Had the best hand.
Unsuited.
Doesn't need a knit button anymore, and we are down to heads up for the knit game.
Pop it to 10, see what happens. JD may call. He's had a long day.
Yeah, let him
Yacht
go on.
Club and what, Ram or no, Yacht Club. Yacht Club just has to pay it out. He
Oh
was
wow,
the
the
last one.
curse is broken.
The curse is broken.
Z-Fish folded me one time, thank God. Just fold, buddy. That's all you need to do.
I know, JD. Yeah,
Alvin
I
plays
felt like
4 hours tops,
your
and then it's
story.
out of there. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you didn't want to.
yeah, dude, it's like you feel like you're hitting running. Certainly at 4. I play a 6-hour session and kind of sometimes feel like I'm hitting and running, but yeah, it's dude, it's crazy. Some people just grind it out. They look at you funny too when you leave after 4 hours. Like, what are you doing, man? You know, there's still light outside, and I'm like, dude,
What are you talking about?
man.
I just spent half the amount of time they're supposed to sleep in a night sitting at a poker table.
Yeah, like I want to go eat something. I want to go do something fun. I want to
Watch
be
a
active.
movie,
Like
yeah.
any of these things
Take a
that
walk.
don't involve me just sitting here drooling on myself for another 4 hours. Like, yeah.
Thank you. I got made
But I mean, don't get me wrong. I love poker, and I will play a good game for a long time. But yeah, it definitely catches up to me much more than it used to. And there's also something about balance outside of the poker table, right? Like, you want to be balanced in how you approach the game from a strategy perspective. I think you also should want to approach your life from a balanced perspective.
Absolutely.
Like, if you're spending 300 plus hours at the poker table, now, if you're beating the shit out of that game and you're banking a bunch of money because you want to go buy a new car, or you want to put yourself through college, or whatever it might be, right? I mean, there's any number of different things that you could be trying to save up for. Like, good for you, you know? I mean, that's what the world is, or at least the, you know, the free market world is sort of based around, is going out there, proving yourself, and then you get to reap the rewards. So, by all means, you know, go for it.
He's young, and who knows? Maybe he has plans to want to retire at, 35, right? So,
or move up in stakes, or who knows,
yeah,
right?
keep moving up in stakes. Yeah.
Absolutely, you know, go out there and seize the day. But
wait, doesn't the stream go till 12?
I will also say that, you know, it's something that I'll just punt it off to Jonathan Little, right? He talks about a lot. When he was young,
I thought it was gonna be midnight.
when he was first coming up in poker, that's all he did. It's literally all he did. He would eat and sleep and play poker. And he obviously built himself a pretty fantastic business, and now rarely plays poker. He has a family, he has a wife, he has children. Like, that's what he devotes his life to. And so he put in the effort up front. He developed a tremendous skill, won a bunch of money, and is now, you know, parlayed that into a business venture that he can sort of take a step back and spend time with his family. So great on him. And if that's, you know, something that somebody wants, then, you know, great. But one thing for sure that he says is that now that he's no longer a kid, or even, you know, many years ago, that he was not a kid and wasn't just grinding away for, you know, he had no other purpose. That was just what he was doing. Now he sees that there's a lot more to life than just playing poker. So the long and short of it is have a plan, stick to it, do whatever you're going to do, but also make time for the things that really life and matter, because words are hard.
Wow, we have a big pot brewing here, 3 ways. Oh, wow, what a cooler flop here.
Everybody has something here. This is incredible. I mean, if that was like the 9 of diamonds, this would be just a little bit more spicy, as Ram is probably going to get priced out of this pretty quick, but I mean, who knows, right?
I mean, we could see the money get in 3 ways here with how aggressive Ram likes.
Ram?
It is a 4-bet pot.
Yeah, sorry, was Ram the 4-better, actually?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a 4-bet pot, so we could just see the money get in here.
Yeah, Mariano's already all in. Brass Monkey has top. This is the most draw-heavy board that you could possibly imagine, though. Right? So,
yeah, like, even if you're ahead here with Ace-King, you could just be, what, coin flipping a lot, but
yeah, I mean,
dead.
it's possible that, like, Ram is just, like, way far behind with, like, Ace-Queen or Ace-Jack. But even if Mariano has Queen-Jack of clubs, Queen-Jack of spades, yeah, you're not just, like, crushing it. Whoa, Ram snap calls.
That's what I'm saying, with 4-bet pot, so he's just going to go with it. He has
Everybody's in. 57,000 in the middle. Let's go.
Everyone's live here, too. Or Brass Monkey's live as well. Can hit a ace or king.
10-9?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the most incredible hand we've seen here this evening, and this is a massive pot for one of these players. Of course, Ram in for a little bit less, I think, than Brass Monkey. Mariano obviously covering both players. So we're going to do some accounting here real quick, get the main pot made.
It's a fair fight.
But 57,000 is going into the middle, and there's not going to be a lot on the side, I think. Maybe 6,000 or something.
That's funny that no one has clubs then.
Ram is so happy no one has clubs here. He's like, oh wow, all my outs are so clean here. Any jack, any really 6.
Queen Jack?
14,000 exactly for the main.
Okay, yeah, it looks to me like there is going to be, okay, maybe it's more like 10K on the side here. No, it was, I don't know what's going on. We've got it all counted down, so we'll get it sorted at the end, but
How much?
Mariano here, obviously, with the best of it, but flipping over the next 2 cards as to whether or not he's going to scoop this 58K pot.
I wouldn't root for the stranger either.
Watch it
I root for the home team.
Home team,
of course.
So
Is some way you guys can chop it up?
Here we go.
You guys? No?
JD wants Rom and Brass Monkey to chop it up.
You guys trade. I don't think you guys can chop it.
If I hit my king in my out, wrong.
King
If I hit my king, is it dead?
14 for the main, it's going to be
Okay. I didn't know if my king was live.
Okay. Do you want the money?
All right, here we go. 5 of diamonds, clean for Mariano, but the king of
Oh,
clubs
wow.
on the end.
One time, it looks like.
Monkey. And Brass Monkey there, who, I mean, he had a real decision, right? I mean, a player left to act behind. Doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
There was a side pot, though, between Rom and Mariano.
That is
Yeah, and Ram, you know, obviously he bricked this out about as hard as he can, so the dust goes to Mariano, but Brass Monkey here going to win the big stuff.
Wow.
52K.
Look at that pot.
Oh, do I get
Going over to him, and he gets rid of the knit button. I mean, did they just reset the?
Thank you.
Wow, what a spot though!
That is a
What
sick
a
I was
spot.
gonna say, because that river brought in
Hey, does
everything,
that
like
make the
every
stream?
single draw.
The blog?
Okay,
That's a spicy
Club
river,
dancing.
man. We needed that one, you know.
I kind of celebrated too.
Barrel's on 20.
Very nice hand there for Brass Monkey. You're running it one time there.
Thank you. Hey,
Rom's always a one-timer.
occasionally I get lucky.
Hey, JD, next time, kick it easy.
Yeah, and I like that. You know, when you're 3 ways,
I think I won because JD was rooting for me.
it's certainly fair
Yeah,
play
that was
to
a
go
nice home
multiple
team.
times.
Sure.
Everybody agrees, but you know, I'm always a one-timer when it comes to multi-way pots.
All right, then C3
And
20K
even when it's heads up, most of the time I prefer to just go once anyways. But you know, to each their own.
That's definitely the biggest pot I've ever won.
Oh, well, good for Brass Monkey. Did you hear
That's
that?
the biggest pot I've won. I won.
Wait,
But that's the
Today
biggest
or-
pot he's ever played.
No,
The
ever.
biggest pot he's ever
Well,
won.
no, that's been counted, I'll tell you.
Okay.
That's awesome. Congrats to Brass Monkey. Taking down a $55,000, what, $58,000 pot?
Well, that was including the side pot. He ended up winning a little under 50.
51. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he won a $51,000 pot, it looked like. Getting info from Cooper.
It's here. I love this. The one time not folding ace king has been beneficial in the history of poker. Take that to heart, everybody. Ace king, just fold it. No good. Thank you for the comment, Mitch. Yeah, no, ace king, it'll get you into trouble. That's for sure. I mean, you know, I think everybody can appreciate the times that ace king has taken them down a path they'd rather not have gone. But Yacht Club here has got the clean diaper, and he's flopping a pair and a flush draw. Has the most equity, although he is behind pocket sixes of JD. The sixes are gone.
Look at that.
Bring them up.
We're going to get the 3 deuce and
Always hit.
smash it.
Always hit.
Hitting them all.
It is nice when the biggest pot you've ever played, you win. I do. That is currently where I'm at. I have not played a bigger pot than the last one that I won. Words are just too hard. But basically what I'm trying to say is the biggest pot I've ever played, I did win the hand.
Yeah, much more
And that
than
was
poker,
lovely.
that's for sure.
What do you play?
I have seen players before announce this is the biggest pot I've ever played, and then I've watched them lose it, and I'm like, that's gonna stick with you for a while. I mean, because like it was a real number, right? At least at the stakes that we were playing, it wasn't like $2,500 pot. Like, don't worry, man, you'll play another bigger one, and maybe you'll win that one. So it's like, this was like a 12K pot, and like, yeah, you're gonna lose this one, and you might not play another bigger one in quite some time, if ever.
Yeah, the biggest one I ever played was a bomb pot, and I chopped it with someone else, so I can't say that. I mean, I guess I'll take that as a win, I guess. I mean, like.
Absolutely, man. You didn't lose, you didn't lose.
Yeah, so I'll take that.
Mariano here just going to call with the 9s facing this low jack open and big blind call. JD flops bottom set here, which is brilliant. Be tough to get paid, although Mariano working with effective second pair, Benji effective third pair. So there are some opportunities here. Okay, Mariano will make the call. Heads up to a turn.
Oh my
7
god,
of clubs changes.
I thought that was the 9 of clubs for a split second. Because I was looking at the outs at the top of the screen. I saw it was the 9 of clubs.
That'd be pretty savage as JD sitting on 17K, the effective stack. Could have seen a lot of chips gone in. And might not have been a 52K pot or 58K or whatever you want to call that last one, but it could have been juicy. Mariano here will get shown the deuces after folding the 9s on the turn, and good fold by him.
I can hear all the commotion from our 2-4 limit game on table number 4. Because it's just a bunch of dealers and like floor staff. It's just like them having fun, of course, having some beers. But like, it's always the loudest table when it's the lowest limit game in the room.
Oh, absolutely. Especially limit stakes too, where people are just like, cap it, you know, like just having so much fun when they get it to 5 bets.
Towers and towers of white chips on that table.
Oh, yeah. You get a good burger button going in that game, I bet.
Oh, for sure. I mean, honestly, that game will probably be running when you're in town for the series, so you probably hop in and join us. It's a good fun.
Oh, love me some 2-4 limit.
Hey, we add a kill to it. We add a kill to it.
Oh, okay. Is it mixed or is it just?
Yeah, it's like there's like 20 games in there.
Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah, no, I'd play it.
No, we're not. We're not playing. Oh God, we're
2-4 hold'em. Yeah, I was like, that sounds terrible. I'm sorry,
oh, Jesus.
Okay, well, so you've got something to look forward to here at the end of the night. If you don't want to go play PLO, you can get in the 2-4 mix.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm probably gonna play PLO. I just love the game so much lately.
All right. Have you turned things around? Is the downswing?
It has
mitigated?
been turning around. Yeah, thank you for asking.
Good for you. All right, 3.9K is the bet here from Mariano. JD opening from early position with King 10 suited. He's going to have to ditch it. And Water, who had 3-bet in between on the button. 5-4 suited. I mean, there is that dead money from JD. But 2.4K into a pot that's going to go up to 85. You need somewhere around 30% equity, which you kind of assume that 5-4 suited has. It's just how hard are you going to hit flops? It's going to be pretty tough. But he is getting a decent price, so let's see if he makes the call. And he does. So Mariano with the betting lead, out of position though.
Another 4-bet pot here with Mariano involved.
Yeah, stack to pot ratio at effectively 1. Is going to get out-flopped by Water, but he wasn't really looking for a pair of 5s, right? I mean, certainly not a pair of 5s with no club out there. Does have a backdoor straight to a really bad-looking one. 6-7 fills in somehow, but yeah, you know, 5-4. You're really hoping to at least flop a pair in a backdoor flush draw, maybe even you know, sort of like a gut shot or something like that, but here we are. Alvin in the chat says, in theory, one of the best hands to call, but so ick. Yeah, I mean, if you ever connect with the board, you know those cards are yours, for sure. There's going to be a lot more of the bottom of the deck available in a 4-bet pot as well, but yeah, absolutely. Ick is the right word. Bet at 2.1K though, so small continue, 1/4 pot, and Water will make the call. Nearly 13,000 now in the middle. Stack to pot ratio just a shade over 1, maybe 1 1/4, and it's a 3 of clubs on the turn.
Mariano definitely capable here, just shipping it in here on the turn. I'm just curious what Water's plan was after calling flop, and it came like a very inconsequential turn card.
I mean, I think most of the time, right, like, and this is sort of consistent across many different scenarios, your middling strength hands are just really hoping that your opponent shuts it down at some point, right? Like if Mariano checks here, like now the world is your oyster. You can either go all in to deny equity, to bluff your opponent off the pocket tens, to do anything, right? Like if your opponent ever checks, now you have a lot of options. If your opponent doesn't, then your life sucks and you kind of just have to shut it down and get out of the way. But there's a world, right, within which your opponent checks. You don't have to give up. Water here facing probably the most annoying bet size that could possibly have come out. Mariano here doing a fantastic job of exerting maximum stack pressure here by betting a little under 1/3 of what Water has behind and around 1/2 of what's in the pot. Sorry, 1/3 of what's in the pot. These awkward sizings are brilliant, right? Like they apply maximum pressure. They look super value-y, and you don't even have to have anything. I mean, Mariano's on dust here. Ace high is no good.
You said set over set over set, right?
But, you know, we saw it earlier. Pocket tens had to fold to the small sizing. Earlier, Water here, though, is not going anywhere. He's like, dude, you're just pricing me in, and now here I am with stack pot ratio at 0.5. And once I make this call, I don't know if I can fold. But Mariano puts him to the test, rips it all in. And Water has,
oh my gosh,
the best hand with a pair of fives.
This is pretty sick here.
He quote unquote like needs to be right like 1 in 4 times, a little, you know, right around there. It's like bang on 1 in 4. He has a pair of fives.
Man, he's actually considering this here, and we could see one of the sickest calls we've ever seen on our live stream. Though he looks quite uncomfortable. Body language saying he's most likely going to fold, but looks like he's crunching the numbers right now.
I mean, he knows that Mariano's capable, right? That is probably, again, you know, we go back to that concept that I presented earlier of, is your opponent capable of doing certain things, value betting a hand that's worse than yours? Are they capable of bluffing on the river, whatever? Once you start answering those questions, it gives you an insight, a portal into how to make the correct decision. And Water here not snap folding the bottom pair on the flop, right? Like here he is with effective 4th pair on the river facing this massive bet. He's not just pitching his cards in there like a lot of us would do because we just suspect that we can't ever be good. He's going to try to figure this one out. And this would be such a sick call.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this would be reminiscent of a hand. If he makes this call, it'd be reminiscent of a hand I saw on a live stream a long time ago.
And this would get Water unstuck, right? If he wins this hand, he is unstuck. That's got to be factoring into the decision, too. Mariano capable. And if I just put this little 11K out here, I can win a 44K pot. And look like a freaking sicko, too.
Oh
Let's
my gosh,
go!
he makes the call! Oh
Let's
my god.
go! Pair of fives, baby.
What a freaking sicko.
Dude, I apologize to everybody's eardrums, but my god, that was my favorite thing I've seen all night.
I do apologize too, but my goodness, I mean, what a freaking call there.
I mean, that is the sickest call that I've seen. Like, and not just like a river call. That is a flop call. That is a turn call, and then a river call for all the marbles with a pair of fives on King Jack 853. I love it.
He didn't want to lose his nit button. He wanted to get rid of his nit button.
You know, that's a little cherry on top right
I think he earned that nit button there. Oh my goodness. $44,000 pot with a pair of fives.
Yeah. So also do want to just chime in here. Alvin in the chat says Mariano also snap river on a complex river card. Is the jack really complex? I mean, I get you, and I feel it. Anytime someone snap jams a river, without really
Actually,
giving
don't
enough
know
time
that I was the one who
for
raised
that
it.
card to sink in as to how much it has affected the board.
Make sure you're aware.
But the jack of clubs, I mean, let's be fair, right? Like that doesn't really connect.
See Yacht Club do it, you think you're going to get on it.
Doesn't complete any.
Water
straight
is
flushes.
YG,
Nothing
yes.
that makes sense. But you're right. Like he did snap that in. Like Mariano absolutely just like saw the river peel off onto the felt and was like, I'm all in, because he knew what he was going to do. And I think it's fair that he could have bluffs and value and just be like, yeah, of course I'm ripping. Like, well, why wouldn't I?
We actually go south 30.
Sick, savage, massive, amazing call though. Like full-blown golf clap and standing ovation there for Water. That was amazing.
Fire's friend. Fire's friend. It's a fire's friend.
Yeah. Fire, water.
Holy cow.
Smoke.
I mean, if y'all enjoyed that sick hero call there from our friend Water here in the 5 seat, hit that like button, please. Because that was one of the sickest calls I've seen on this live stream. Steven in the chat. Oh my goodness.
YG, they're saving you from me. How to beat you again, buddy. How to beat you again.
Mariano adding on for another 30K there. Keeping the table covered here, but just barely. I mean, Mariano with 65K, Brass Smoky with 50K, Yacht Club with 45K. Just money being sent all over the table here. Water essentially unstuck after that sick call up to a 43K stack. We could easily see a 100K pot here if the right stacks get involved. Lucas Vance in the chat. First time seeing Water on stream. Very impressed. Yeah, I mean, Water's a very, very good player here. He plays a lot of our high-stakes games. Doesn't play our stream as often as, I mean, I'd like, to be honest. I'd love to see him play more often, but he does play a lot of the high-stakes games in the area.
That's the problem in Texas. Too many rich people.
I'm not from JD. JD is station.
JD, I mean.
Don't credit that one to me, YG, alright? Don't credit that one to me.
Okay, oh, I have
Don't credit that
Crazy that Ace King off is considered indifferent to call with their assist solver.
You want $1,000?
Yeah, I mean, that was just a sick play there from Water. KPT in the chat. What's up, buddy?
Hey, JD.
Yeah.
I'm joking, buddy.
900 of y'all in the live stream chat right now with us. Really appreciate everyone's support here on our High Stakes Tuesday.
Hell yeah. And I see that we've got Mr. Delivery here in the chat. What's up, Steve?
I haven't seen you in a while, man. I feel like it's been like 2-3 months.
Well, you were gone for like 2 months. Yeah. The last 3 weeks I haven't.
Unbluffable. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is
Hopefully more now.
Yeah.
that is one hell of a call. It is interesting because I've found myself in a similar situation a handful of times before where you sort of go for the small all-in size, but because it was too small and then too small, you let them kind of come along with a hand that normally would have folded to like a traditional sort of small flop bet and then a sized up turn bet.
So that's our friend down here.
Yeah, no one's leaving before midnight.
And then they're just kind of stuck in this awkward spot on the end where it's like, oh, I already put so much of my chips in there. Like, I guess I just call off with my shitty hand. And I've had that happen before. Yeah. Maybe not quite in that epic of a spot, but more like, you know, pocket queens on a king high board, and they just like call, shrug, call it off, right? And you totally could have gotten them to fold if you just sized up more normally, quote unquote, on the turn. So it is kind of funny how you can almost reverse psychology the whole hand by being like, well, I'm still gonna go small because like I can exert a lot of pressure, but I don't have to exert maximum pressure, whatever. Like you can level yourself as well. So just a tough spot. I mean, right? Like what happens if he just sort of like fully stacked leverages there, and instead of going 1/3, goes 1/2.
No money over here.
Right? Like that's basically a committing bet, but
Did you see that?
applies the pressure on the turn. I don't know. Maybe lets the 5 go. I don't know. We shall never know. But Z-Fish is in here, pair and a gut shot. Yacht Club with the over pair in the best hand. Check, check on the turn. Ace of hearts now on the end.
So, you know, we ramped up everything in the middle in that area.
Yacht Club's here to go for a little block, try to get value from Jack 10, maybe 9-10, something like that. Make sure he checks it over.
Oil money. It's nice because, like, Dallas doesn't see as much as it sees enough. But Fort Worth this lot, Houston this lot.
2/3 sizing here from Z-Fish, going to rep the ace. I think Yacht Club has played this so disguised.
Yeah, I think he might sit this one out. He's kind of under-repped, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's super under-repped. I mean, it's entirely possible. I was going to say it's entirely possible that Z-Fish could be like value betting King Jack, but I don't think he checks the turn. I don't know. This one's a little bit complex, but I mean, 100% Yacht Club should be able to ask himself this question, and this is something else too. If you ever slow play a hand or try to play something a little bit unorthodox, if you ask yourself, if I just turned these 2 cards over, would my opponent be surprised that I had a hand this strong? And if the answer is ever yes, you should start thinking about calling much lighter.
Some percentage of time.
Or yeah, not lighter. You should be calling at a higher percentage exactly than you might feel like you should.
That's a great way to put it, because I guess I've always thought about it in the from my perspective. It says like, oh, like I've underrepped my hand, I should do this. But I like your method better in the sense like, oh, what would surprise my opponent? Like, because then you're putting in the element of like what hands they think you're on, rather than like what, you know, I guess what you're repping.
Yeah, because I mean, like you just 3-bet and then call, or sorry, you just opened and called a 3-bet. You didn't 4-bet with a hand as strong as kings, right? Like no one's going to suspect that you have a hand as good as kings over there. So like, yeah, maybe that board looks a little bit scary. Maybe you don't feel super great about kings, but if your opponent doesn't expect you to have freaking kings,
yeah, they're not targeting hand like kings, exactly.
Yeah, then what are they attacking? And if it's a lot weaker hands than that, which it probably will be, especially on a board like what we just saw,
could be like
and
tens,
just the fact that the ace is a good card for your opponent to go bet, check, bet on. I mean, yeah, I think it's a slam dunk call. He's up a bunch, right? I mean, that always helps. You're like, yeah, I could lose a few thousand here and be wrong with kings, you know? Make the call, get it in there. And of course, he's correct and now has more than 50,000 in chips. Now he's running into the kings, though, with the ace-queen O. Z-Fish here sort of stuck in the middle, putting 500 across the line. But it's back to water with the kings, and he's got a lot of chips now after calling off correctly in that spot. Going to be looking to build this pot up. Yacht Club is one of the players that you might be a little bit concerned about getting too many chips in pre-flop, but certainly worthy of a 4th wager. Not a small one either.
Yeah, I was about to say, it seems kind of large for in-position 4-bet, right?
I don't hate it though, because these are the 2 deepest, or 2 of the 3 deepest stacks at the table. So
oh yeah, that's
you're gonna see a lot of just like flops that kings are just so good on that you're gonna just c-bet, and you know you're hoping that your opponent has something like queens or jacks, right? Like at that point the ranges are super narrow, so you want to get the money in when they have a good hand, and then the flop, you know, they may change their minds about where the direction's going. So I don't hate it at all going for the larger size as deep as they were. But you're right, you could certainly go for a smaller bet there. Keep more weaker hands in, etc. You're in position, just, you know, all of those things still apply. But man, both those guys are playing like 500 big blinds, so
I still don't think we should,
you know, pump it up.
get free advertising.
That's definitely one thing too. you know, just the tip here with AA Ron. Whenever you and your opponents are, or the relevant opponents, I should say, are super deep, don't concern yourself with like the blinds and the usual size and all that crap, because stack depth is fundamentally more important than the size of the blinds when it comes to 3 and 4 and 5 bet pots. You know, when you're initially opening the pot, your goal is to win the blinds. And that's kind of like the base level of game theory, is like, I'm trying to take those blinds. But once you get into 3 and 4 bet territory, the blinds are irrelevant. The blinds don't matter anymore. I mean, there's $5 out there, there's $10 out there, whatever. Now that you're in 3 and 4 bet land, you're talking about hundreds of dollars potentially.
Right,
and
you're targeting the stack rather than the blinds, like you're saying.
Exactly. That is the very succinct way of putting it. You're targeting the stack instead of the blinds, and it's it behooves you to think more about how should I play to try to get my opponent's stack, or if you're bluffing, to put your opponent's stack in a difficult position, rather than thinking about, you know, blinds and things of that nature. So anyways, let's get back to the hand, as we've got top pair queen kick in here for Yacht Club, and the best hand, Brass Monkey pocket queens, not loving this flop. Doesn't have the queen of diamonds either, so working on a pure gut shot basically.
We'll continue here on this flop.
That is actually not a good card for Yacht Club. It does pick up the royal flush draw, of course, but like, you really didn't want your opponent to have queen jack or jack 10 on this turn, and you really wanted them to have that on the flop. So it's like a big class of hands that have just gone from really good for them to have to really bad.
And actually, Brass Monkey here has all the relevant suits for queen jack suited here. Queen of hearts, queen of clubs, can have queen jack of clubs, can have queen jack of hearts here.
Yeah, and is gonna bet here. This is a gutsy move. Brass Monkey turning the queens into a bluff. 7,200 into 12,000, so right around 2/3 sizing. Yacht Club, I mean, it's tough.
You can't be very comfortable here. Yeah.
But it's tough to fold, and at the same time, you kind of squint at this, and you're like, I blocked the nut flush, but there's some nasty stuff out there. There's king jack out there. There's queen jack. There's 10 jack. I mean, ace jack. It's not out of the realm of possibility, given the fact that ace jack of hearts is still alive. Yeah, I've got the ace of spades blocking ace.
Oh man. Well.
Yeah. Send all that right out the window, as once again, Yacht Club finishes with the nut flush on a paired board. I mean, imagine if Brass Monkey just is like going for it. You know, like it would have been a savage spot, because Yacht Club would actually be in a pretty tough spot there. Instead, he just gets to win another one without that big of a decision.
Yeah, that was a tough run out there for Brass Monkey. If he wanted to continue barreling.
Yeah.
I'm not going to answer your question.
Mariano, of course, trying to run that big bluff earlier, is now stuck the most down nearly 40,000 himself. So Mariano and Yacht Club kind of playing mirror images here. Everybody else in between. A little bit of Taco Bell money there in the middle.
I will tell you that last name was not Straddle.
Tony here
We were doing around earlier.
in the chat says he's a little bit behind, but sick call by water. Mariano bluffs too much. I mean,
but it's okay for you. I was just like, no.
It's honestly, I think when you bluff enough to give your opponents the perception that you bluff a lot, that's when you finally started bluffing enough. Bluffing too much, I have seen players do it. It is definitely possible.
Don't worry.
And you don't want to go too far, but I'm not sure if Mariano bluffs too much.
Yeah,
I think he bluffs enough that you definitely look at him and kind of
Yeah.
squint and go, oh, really? I don't
Yeah,
know
like
if I
if
believe
you get your opponent to call with a pair of 5s on that board, it seems like it would pay dividends down the road. So,
I mean, certainly that,
yeah.
and then
How's that possible?
I mean, just I guess at the end of the day, it really just comes down to
Oh, really? You guys didn't know fire before this?
the people that bluff too much are like V-pipping 90%, and they're trying to show down, or they're like getting to showdowns way too often because people are looking them up. And I don't think Mariano's in that camp. I think Mariano is bluffing at a high enough frequency that people are skeptical of what he's doing, and that's where you should be, right? You want to be in a middle ground. You don't want people to just think that you're always bluffing. You don't want people to think that you're always value betting. You want them to think, I don't know what the hell this guy's got. He could have it, he could not. I don't know. That's true balance right there.
Slowest night of the week for TV.
Z-Fish, perfectly balanced between winning and losing. He can solidly go to Taco Bell a few times
So this
over.
year, I think Usain Bolt.
Not much
Usain
more.
Bolt
275 in the
got broken,
positive.
and
That's
then
good, though.
Michael Phelps' final world record just got broken. New era.
Usain Bolt was so fun to watch.
Yeah, some American guy broke his 200-meter dasher. Wow.
I don't think it was the time. I think he broke the number of times he's run under 26.
The Kings are really going around here. Mariano's got him again.
I had to read it. And it was like,
And JD
I'm sorry. Straddleman race.
has queen 10 of clubs. This is a under the gun open though. So JD here going to be on the fringe of his 3-betting range. Let's go to 3x Yacht Club. Next to act with the ace queen. Oh, he's been running really hot. And this is a hand that you would normally consider a 3-better fold candidate. He's going to make the call. Back over to Mariano, and this is brilliant. Loving the dead money, the extra dead money in here from Yacht Club. Of course, loving the raise from JD. And yeah, I would not be surprised at all to see a big chunky bet here. Mariano taking it up perhaps into the realm of, 7,000. Might seem like it's a little bit excessive, but it's about the right ballpark. 6,500 comes up a little bit short of that number, but basically hitting the nail on the head. You don't want to make it too easy, right? Like, there's $10,500 in the middle, and JD really only needs to call 4,700. So it's not the outside of the realm of possibility that he's seeing immediate 4-to-1 odds and just like, cool. And if I call, Yacht Club might call as well, which is basically 5-to-1. So you don't want to give too good of odds. So I like the size here from Mariano, and honestly would have liked maybe even just a little tad bigger. He shows the kings, gets rid of the nit button, and takes down a nice little pot nonetheless. And we'll move along. Hand number 83.
Queens in the
Coming
muck.
at you.
Tightest player on the table.
Julian B. Hill says no more volcano tacos at Taco Bell. The limited run has come to an end. Well, I didn't try any of the volcano tacos, but I imagine they were good.
Nah, more.
1,200.
Like, all in.
Not that one. That would have been
850 of you fine folks hanging out with us here on TCH Live Tuesday. High stakes 550, 100, 200 with Mariano. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, hanging out with us. I do want to ask, if you haven't had an opportunity, if you are not subscribed to the channel, we would love to have you as part of the TCH Live team. Costs you nothing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. That'll let you know the next time we go live. And we show a lot of fine free poker content here throughout the week. So come along, hang out with us, and also help us out. Hit that like button if you are enjoying this broadcast. Helps us get this out to more folks around the interwebs as well. Raised to 1,000 here from JD. Harris calls in between. Mariano calls as well, and Z-Fish here is going to come in for the chunky squeeze out of the straddle position. Makes it 5.5K to go. Does have to get through 3 players, but this is one of those standard spots where you can get the first domino to fall, the rest will probably follow suit. So he just needs to get JD to lay it down. JRLG, what is a knit button? Reina here says it's the stand-up game. So if you are familiar with the stand-up game, that will indeed get you the information you need. $4.5K here to Mariano. He's stuck. He'll be out of position with a pretty dusty hand, but again, suited one gapper is one of those hands that's kind of like a suited connector. You either smash the flop or see a flop that you can easily fold on, but he does decide not to go for it.
I was kind of glad to see you do that because he was in.
Yeah.
I don't know, I was just rooting for any of y'all three to win besides.
No block.
7-8.
Have you seen me pull
Dr. Brown wants to know, is this Nick Schulman commentating? No, it's not.
That's quite the compliment, though. I'll take that.
I definitely do appreciate that. And I do get the comparison quite frequently. My name is Aaron McAvoy, though, hanging out here with Derek Ing on this fine program. So thank you guys for tuning in, and do always appreciate you guys asking questions and participating in the chat. Always happy to interact with y'all. Battle of the King 10.
Appreciate the defense.
always?
Oh, dude, you folded? Oh. Yeah.
Neither player connects, of course.
What about your honor?
Harris with the betting lead.
He'll defend me.
Touché.
It's not
Likely
really
to
honorable.
take the team down.
Another man's got your honor? Probably a good fold.
Was he at 5-6?
Mr. Houdini says, why Taco Bell? Why not Taco Bell? Real good. Harris here turning a gut shot to Broadway, so he'll continue betting. Z-Fish, of course, with the same draw, but out of position and no betting lead. It's going to be tough to continue.
You know, Mr. Houdini, in this economy and as poker players, the dollar to calorie ratio needs to be high. You know.
That's right. That is correct. Z-Fish is going to come in with the check raise. Not quite a min click. This is a 2.5x check raise. Very small. And a little bit of an odd turn card, right? Like, that is slam bang in the middle of Harris's value range. Obviously, if you just have like ace-5 suited, ace-6 suited, you're going to go for a check call on the flop and then feel pretty good about raising on the turn. But are you going to raise so small? Wouldn't you want to be trying to get all the money in there against ace-king? Or ace-queen by the river? So a little bit of a curious sizing, but gets it through nonetheless.
I think I have the warden position right now.
God.
For the best.
It's not really a bad thing with him, but with
It's not
me,
like they're trying super hard.
Yeah, I was going to say. She already had these buttons out of
pick the bad time to be card dead.
I don't know about that. Benji here up 15K nearly, 14 and a half.
Yeah, that's how I was in the small blind.
So bad time to be card dead.
Blind raise?
You know, go ahead and give me a 14K profit and then stop giving me cards so I don't have to play and risk it. I mean, I'm not saying I want to just lock it up, but it's not the worst thing in the world, right?
Boss.
Oh, yeah.
I can think of worse things, for sure.
Yeah, there are worse things.
I pretty much call it.
He's like, oh. Well, I think because Harris and Benji, the last two with a nit bunny, he's like, oh my god, he's raising again.
Yeah, and it's understandable that when you have the knit button that you're sort of incentivized to reach for the stars a little bit, but 9-deuce-0, I mean, it's just so dusty. Like, you'd rather, you honestly should just be content with paying out the knit game than trying to win a hand with 9-2-0. Harris here still with the best of it. And still on the turn as well. We see a delayed C-bet here from Harris a lot of the time. He can now get value from sevens of the world. Bet a 300 and a quick call. Brass Monkey just drills it here on the end, hits the 3-outer.
Oh,
yeah. Why not?
Defense.
Yeah, prevents Harris from releasing the nip button.
I almost wanted to call it
stoked about that.
There you go. It's working out.
Yeah, these guys. But these guys in the blinds.
That is like the most frustrating loss that you could possibly have as Harris. Sure like, you're now still in the game for the net.
Yeah,
you
okay,
still have to pay out whatever it is, $2,000. Come on, dude. It's freaking game. What are you doing?
You were waiting for it.
I was checking. I was like, yeah, I'm calling. It don't matter what it is.
Then you just see I'm not defending for you, buddy.
I already know.
A lot of chips on this table. If I had to do some quick math, I'd say there's like 400K this game. Maybe that's pushing it. 350.
That was good honor.
There's a lot of money on this
I am playing defense.
He folded, so you can just.
I am playing defense.
What if I want to play this?
No, you can't. I'm just saying.
Max defense now.
Benji wants to play, but he keeps getting dealt the nastiest
So much
hand
pressure.
ever seen.
Love it. Okay, I guess that was.
JD has.
He would have had aces in the straddle. Oh my god. What a spot here for JD. Facing some action, though it is from Mariano on the button. Unlikely to get action.
Yeah, that would have worked out great.
Unless he has another big hand as well.
Yeah, squeeze size. I mean, there's no size there that you can really go for that induces queen 9 to play, but
Max defense spin.
It took you that long to fold 6-2?
I thought about raising just because.
I think a lot of people will look at that and be like, dude, you 4.5x, but you had aces, and you should scare them away or something. It's like, you need to be consistent with your sizing. And for every time that you squeeze out of the blind with ace 3 of diamonds or something like that, or whatever else your other squeeze hands might be, and you go to 4.5x, like, you get to do it with aces too. And you specifically should be doing it with aces as well. Because when your opponent does call with their king-queen suited or their queen-jack suited or whatever they've got, now the pot is nice and juicy. Like you've built up the pot to a point where when they flop top pair or pair and a gut shot or whatever it is, like they're going to keep putting the money in, and they're going to put a lot of money in because the pot's already built. So
yeah, I feel like
don't be afraid to squeeze large with your good hands as long as you are balanced. Doing it with the other hands as well. Another clash of big pocket pairs here though, 9s, 10s, and queens.
Yeah.
Ram here, the original opener from under the gun, facing a 3 and a cold 4.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be unreasonable to just ditch the 9s right here, but he's going to make the call.
She's like, water's made of
Water.
Covering There's no reason she should know any of those words.
Playing man in the middle currently, but will have position if he makes the call.
And this could be potential here for a big pot. Does come 10 high. Look at that. And wrong with the straight draw. Wow.
Yeah, up and down for Ram, gutty for JD, and the overpair. Water with top set. I mean, it's definitely a little bit for everybody, but I think JD here, probably the one that's the most likely to get kind of pressured, right? He's already just checked this. I mean, he's the pre-flop 4-better, and he's just like, this is the worst board I could have possibly imagined. I mean, I'm not even sure that 7-8-9 is worse. Like, I guess 7-8-9 is maybe a little bit worse, but like he hard blocks Queen Jack, right? So this board just sucks. This board sucks.
A great check there from JD. Rom gonna lead out here for 5,000.
Yeah, I mean this. Well, I guess it's a probe, right? Since the pre-flop better has checked. 5K into nearly 8, so it's a good size bet for sure.
I thought it was still midnight.
And committing a large portion of his remaining stack. Water just going to call, says no need to raise. We're basically playing for all of it, no matter what, given his opponent's stack sizes and the current size of the pot. So the turn's too damn.
It's been a lot of big hands.
Yeah.
This spot sucks so bad for JD. It's like I can feel the pain of being in the spot, and he is going to correctly let this go.
It's a great fold.
Yeah.
Douchebag, like, oh, this is too small. It's not.
Instantly takes all questions of whether or not Water was ahead in this hand out.
And it's kind of nice to get used to that speed,
The river's top vote, sorry, turns top vote. And Ram here now going to be like,
I'm like the slowest player there. And I come over here, and I'm like lightning fast over here.
and I lose because I literally can't improve. Run it about 20 times, and so 10's full, going to be good for Water. And Ram going to go down to the felt.
Wow,
That
and
is-
another 50K pot.
Yeah. Yeah, 49 and change in there. Ram going to head for the hills. Understandable. Tough spot there and just pretty gross. I'm not saying that the rip there is unwarranted, because there are spades out there that could possibly be hanging around, but there just aren't that many spade combinations. I don't know. It's the same reason that JD folded that I think Ram may have kind of sniffed the air a little bit and been like, I'm not sure I'm actually ever even drawing long, you know? I don't know. Multi-way pots, when a lot of chips are going in, it just really seems that players have a lot of it. You know, like they just have it, whatever it is. It's almost the same, like, you know, when you're in some low stakes game or whatever, and 6 players are just like check, 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 check.
And look,
see a turn.
Look at Mariano going for his larger sizing again here, just attacking Benji's stack there.
Yeah, it really was. Not good.
Well, I had pretty much nothing, so.
I don't know. Basically, I was just going to say, like, there are these scenarios in poker that with enough experience, you'll come to sort of see them and be like, this is almost always X or Y or Z. That spot, with him cold calling behind, it just feels like he just always has it.
You're gonna go get yourself that salad from France for $250.
Still admire the heart there from Ram, went for it. Of course, in his mind had some outs. And it's unfortunate to be running into it.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be it for Rom tonight, unfortunately. GG's to Rom tonight. Always welcome on our stream, and I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, GG.
The second you called. You.
That 7 wasn't
Second
great
you
though,
called
man.
him a flop.
That 7 wasn't great.
That
That 7 river, I mean, he could have like 7-9. Yeah, I mean, but that river is like, it doesn't, it's not the best river for you.
That would have been a savage one-outer. Imagine that he didn't have 7-9 or whatever.
God.
Doing another round?
April wants to know if they'll fill Ram seat. If there is a player on the
All right, okay, we're
list
continuing that round. We had a
and
gap.
they're ready to hop in here, absolutely.
I was just doing it because you guys were heads up and then you came. It was fun.
Unlikely. I mean, there's only 30 minutes left in the stream, but I did overhear the players saying they're probably going to try to play until midnight. So, I mean, this game will be be running post stream, I'm sure.
Man, it's time consuming. You wanna watch everything.
Well, I don't. I fast forward to like 80% of it. This stuff where I just kind of know.
All right, a battle of the middling aces here. Ace-5 versus ace-7, but JD's hand only gets better as he hits the 7. Backdoor clubs, backdoor straight here for Benji. Coming for the check raise. It does still have the knit button here, so a lot of incentive here. Pick up a pot if you can. Quite a few turn cards that he can continue barreling on as well. He can find a 4, a 6, or a club. 9 of spades, not one of them. We'll see if he shuts it down or if he continues
on TV now. It's 3
trying to
teams
sell
soccer.
a story.
I've never seen this in my life.
There's he's being played on a rec field like.
No, it's like a triangle field.
At the same time.
Look at this. There's 3 goals.
Why are we watching this?
There's so many new sports coming
Settles on
out
the
recently,
check.
like pickleball.
Dude, pickleball's been
A
around
wise
for a
move
while.
here.
Really?
A lot of the
It
time.
just got really popular in like the last
If you
5 or
just
6
keep
years.
blasting away
I
with
remember
every
playing
bluff
pickleball like 25 years
that
ago.
you have on the flop, you end up in some pretty nasty spots.
Text from some guys that are at
Over and
social.
Richard does come a club, so Benji has the key card.
King.
But if he ever did have
There you go.
clubs on the flop,
Texting me.
Oh yeah?
would he slow down on that 9 of spades turn?
cool that they're all
Is the
watching.
question.
Yeah. Not so cool for me. Embarrassing.
Embarrassing. You had the best hand.
Maybe if he had ace 9 of
It's
clubs,
embarrassing for me to hit a 5-outer.
he picks up a little bit of showdown, but that's one combo. And now he's going to go ahead and rep that
Maybe like
club flush. Pot size bet. And gets it through. Oh, that was just a snap fold. I thought maybe JD had snap called, but it was a snap fold. But there we go. Benji takes it down, and so that's going to be Harris paying out the nick game. He throws 2K and purples out there. And he's going to need some neighbors to help each other out, making the 250 if
Here, pass those 2 pink chips over here. We'll figure it out. Take that. You didn't get yours yet, right?
Yeah, you didn't you? Oh, you didn't?
I'm trying to achieve 15.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's
All right, net game paid out.
pickleballs. I like to play tennis. So
Ram here missing out on his 250 payment. So perhaps somebody going to do the record keeping for him, or perhaps
It's a
he'll
circle
just
soccer
be
thing.
left out of that.
you get. I guess you score against the other 2 goals.
Yeah, something like that.
You got to hang out by your goal.
Yeah.
It is weird. Why is
Kind of creative, I guess. I don't know.
why can you have
Yeah.
To hand number 91.
Let's invent
Benji
something new.
back on the horse here. Ace deuce off. Folds him into the big blind. He'll raise it up, and Mariano says,
Tough to have Mariano on your left who's just willing to just 3-bet you constantly.
Absolutely. He's got the chips. He's got the experience in the bigger games, and yeah, just absolutely not going to shy away from any of these spots. I mean, you can take any of those offsuited middling cards. You can even go high-low, right? I mean, you look down at King 3-0. Queen 4-0, Queen 5, Jack 6. Those hands are low frequency, but slam dunk 3-bet pre-flop, given the dynamic there. Big blind and straddle. So 10-8-0, why not? Hit him with it.
And I did that too. It's like, oh,
He
dang.
calls? Yeah, you're playing in position.
Yeah,
See what happens.
get a couple of re-raises out there.
Yeah, it worked out.
All right, ace queen suited here for JD. That's going to be a raise to 500.
Yeah. It feels like that sometimes.
Maybe most people I would have raised there, but
Me? You guys to fold always.
Mariano still down. Pretty big, 35K. JD down about 18 of the players remaining. Of course, Ram here getting stacked. He is one of the players stuck this evening, but he's out of the picture. So Yacht Club up 39, Water up 27, courtesy of that big hero call. Pair of 5. Benji up 15K. So some big winners, some big losers, and a few players just kind of hanging out in the middle. We cruise into final 25 minutes or so of the broadcast.
$800.
But isn't HCL also pretty aggressive from what I've seen? Like on HCL, like it's pretty aggressive usually.
Who?
Like just everyone.
Oh, yeah, we're gambling, man. It's a lot of gambling, yeah.
It's fun.
It's fun, man. You ever go to LA?
A lot of gambling.
Oh, yeah? For work?
No, for fun.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch any of the PLO stream?
Dune premiere.
What, on TCH?
No, on another stream.
Oh, I mean, I saw some a few weeks ago or whatever with Dwan, you know, blasting away.
Yeah.
Endless 500K pots and stuff. With people.
Honestly, the best part of that was Joey Ingram's commentary. It's just the fun. His comedy just hits right with me. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Yeah, he's a unique bird. You either love it or hate it, but no, he's obviously quite studied at PLO, so I'm sure he's had some very good commentary.
This has got to be the 7th time Mariano has 3-bet over Benji's Open, I think.
Yeah, definitely a dynamic that you don't love to have. But Benji here with a very good suited connector. Definitely a spot that I'm going to take off a flop, especially for only a 2.5x size.
A lot of discipline to fold.
Right here. Kind of avoiding the confrontation, really, with that fold.
Maybe he
He's
had
absolutely getting it right.
I mean, that's the advantage Mariano has when he buys in this deep. Everyone's stack is always in play, and he's definitely showing the willingness to just put the money in and just put your opponent to the test at any given point.
I mean, it's like movies.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a couple of players take suited connectors into the streams earlier.
If you look at all the streaming,
10-9 is perfectly fine. I'd be much more comfortable folding, you know, the 9-8. The 9-8 is sort of your standard cooler hand where you see a 10-jack queen flop and you get smoked by ace-king. But 10-9, you've got a lot of connectivity with boards that your opponent is going to have one pair of holdings on and have a strong range advantage, so you can get a lot of chips in the middle in those situations. So I'm a big proponent of taking 10-9 and Jack-10 suited into the streets. Three-bet pots, especially for just a 2.5x 3-bet. Like, that wasn't your standard 3x 3-bet or anything that we have been seeing here.
corner kicking from everywhere.
I'm
a terrible soccer player, so I don't know about
Dude, imagine when fights break out. Like, what if you're the third team and you're on the whose side do you take? Do you just break it up? You watch? You put bets on it? Like, what do they do?
April's got a question here. Does anyone think pros lose their first time on a screen, keeping the amateurs hopeful for the next time they come? I think there are potentials, if that's the right word, for someone to go into a game and intentionally lose in hopes of being invited back, or inducing or creating some kind of image or whatever. But I think that's mostly the only times that that's actually relevant is in some sort of really juicy, high stakes, private game where, like, you need to go in and you need to splash around with the whales and have a good time and let everybody know that you're not just a pro going to take their money. That is a rational dynamic, but on a live stream, like, because it's a live stream or something, no, nobody's doing that. You come on here because you want to win and you want to show everybody that you're the best and you want to do it and have a good time. I mean, that's what I think. but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Turn a gut shot here for Z-Fish, the best hand. Checky though on the turn. 4 clubs does not change. What these players are holding does bring in the front door flush and the back door wheel. So Mariano's done with this, and Z-Fish will happily show down pair queen
Can you please break that?
for the win.
What?
No, I'm talking.
Oh.
David Gabriel, how much of a delay is the stream or the steam? Actually, is the question. I don't know what the delay of the steam is, but the stream is delayed by probably 15, maybe 20 minutes.
I think it's exactly 15 minutes, and sometimes we've done longer delays for either like bigger games or like our really big final tables, where we just don't want to have to
You gotta hear all this bullshit
deal
about
with the delay. But typically 15 minutes.
Such a great
Yeah.
exercise. You're moving 3 inches.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's like someone made like a pussy-ass version of tennis.
Exactly.
And they're like, this is awesome. It's
a cross
insulting to
between
you.
Wiffle ball, ping pong, and tennis. I mean, it's a little bit of all, and I'm so insulted by it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's such a great exercise.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. It's like when someone's really good at golf and some other kid's like, oh yeah, but I'm really good at mini golf.
okay, how about this?
Yeah.
Benji's about to get 3-bet again by Mariano. This time Jack 10 suited though. He's getting over 3x. Last time it was only 2.5x, but Jack 10 suited just feels a little bit better
Lost all the
than
discipline.
10-9 suited, I guess, because Benji's in there. Flops it up and down, straight flush draw. Let's go. Look at that equity disparity. Benji doesn't have a pair, but he's got 66% of the equity. And Benji usually doesn't have any check raises on king high boards here. Not very frequently, but
massive.
he is going to check raise the 2000. Shows the hand. And yeah, pocket nines were technically the best hand at the moment, but they were
Yeah.
We'll never know. If you sit on his left, you may not get to play too much. You keep raising him.
Here at Texas Card House in Austin, if you make a royal flush or a steel wheel, for those of you that don't know, steel wheel is a straight flush ace to 5. You will get paid here at TCH Austin. So some fun little, promotional hands being paid out here. Come on down, hang out with us at TCH Austin. Of course, don't be shy about getting in the mix on all of the big Poker Atlas Tour tournaments coming to Texas Card House, Dallas, and TCH Social in Las Colinas.
His dedication
See
and how he made his money. You know, he was
the
a
announcement
millionaire.
there on the felt. It's August 15th through September 5th. If you are in or around the area, or just feel like flying in from out of state, out of the country to come play these amazing tournaments, check it out. TexasCardHouse.com. Under the schedule, see which ones you want to play. Come on down,
I mean,
hang
who
out
the
with
hell
us.
is like a...
I will be there for sure.
Who the hell's a bodybuilder,
Perhaps not
actor,
for the
and
entirety,
politician in one
but for
lifetime?
sure for the big
Yeah,
one.
like an interview where he's
And
23.
I mean, it's very possible that I'm just going to be in Dallas for like a couple weeks playing these tournaments.
That's awesome.
So hopefully I run into some of you out there.
He did it. Yeah, some people just do everything in life, you know?
Yeah.
Like, The Rock is kind of like that too.
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson, he
If
just...
he ran for president, if he said right now I'm going to run for president, you want to bet he wouldn't win?
he very well might.
He'd kill it. Because there was a internet rumor The Rock was going to run.
Oh, really?
And
That'd be cool.
I bet he'd win by one of the biggest landslides.
Really.
You know
I believe
the
all that
country is
stuff
in the
about,
right space.
Like, you know,
You just
people
have
always
to
say
be
the elections are rigged,
a big
the
celebrity
votes
to win
aren't real, and all that
a
stuff.
presidential
either.
election.
But if that's true, then whoever is pulling those strings, I don't think they're going to let The Rock be president. Sadly for us.
Yeah, I don't know if The Rock's president.
Who knows? Maybe it'd be the best thing ever. We've got $200 and $400 straddles out there.
UFO stuff, huh? Yeah.
Have you seen the congressional hearings on it?
No, but you know who else is obsessed with this stuff? Brad Owen.
Really?
He loves UFO stuff, yeah.
Brad Owen getting a shout out for his UFO or UAP. obsession. Benji raising it up pocketly from the big blind. Fish going to defend the $400 straddle. Queen 9-0. So heads up to a flop. 8-7-6. 2 overs. Up and down straight draw here.
He's a
Fish.
decorated Air Force veteran. Works the Pentagon, and they said, okay, we want you to investigate the UAP stuff. And so he just filed a whistleblower protection because they were trying to get him fired.
Yeah.
But he testified in Congress last week saying, not only do we have UFOs, we have 12 UFOs in our custody, and we have their.
Oh, is Brass Monkey talking about like that report from the guy that used to work for like the CIA or something, where he's like he just revealed that like the government has like alien remains and like 3 or 4 UFOs in storage somewhere.
Yeah, that is what they're talking about.
Oh, you know, there's too much shit. They got all too much shit. Videos of it now, you know?
Yeah.
That's 3 black. That's 3 black.
It would be pretty exciting to have not just someone that had like a top secret clearance and had access to the information, but like, you know,
What's that about?
that we actually had some sort of verifiable
Many of them, right?
information
'Cause
that
there was
came
a ton
out.
of them, then it would just be impossible to hide.
You know, a video or something. I mean, although these days, like let's say that someone came forward and presented a video of alien bodies on an autopsy table or something, like would we even believe it? I don't know that we would. It's so easy to fake stuff these days that we're already to the point
I could
where
against someone who's done their
you could
research.
see, you could be shown direct evidence, and we'd all just be like, I don't know if I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a long time. The next time I see him, I'm going to go put the pedal to it.
There you
He
go.
works for Lockheed Martin now. So
Pairing a gutty versus a gut shot backdoor heart flush draw.
Go get it.
Checky, checky.
probably won't tell me shit.
C-fish here, pre-flop aggressor. A little bit interesting that he didn't c-bet the flop. He's going to have, by far and away, the range advantage. And just like one of the worst hands he's ever going to have there that still has equity. So to not go for the bet is a little bit curious. He's going to go for the delayed c-bet, 1,200 on the turn. JD calls, and now Z-Fish needs to go for a big size here, but this is awkward. He doesn't have a club, so he's going to shut it down instead. Yeah, I think that the flop check is really where this whole hand went wrong. JD's got the tiniest little bit of showdown value, and he's going to show the 10. Z-Fish is going to be like, ugh, how did I not win this hand?
Fuck off with your 5.
I knew I should have loved this river.
Fuck off with your, I call you. Call or raise, buddy.
You're just a freaking going fish.
5.
Nice hand, sir. Nice hand.
JD will get a little bit back there as he is trying to claw his way out of a just about 16K hole. Mariano's still working at it in his own right. Brass Monkey here, the only player
Just knew you had the best hand, huh?
not in the hole and also not at the top of the leaderboard. I don't know what the hell I was trying to say there. He's up $2,400. That's still good.
Alias told me.
He's hanging.
It was just a free roll, right?
There's a chance he re-raises.
Yeah, but if he knows.
Yeah, Brass Monkey's here for a good time regardless. I don't think the money really matters that much to him, but I'm sure he's happy to not have to be stuck 20,000 the other night.
Yeah, absolutely right.
He bets then I know. I'm like, oh yeah. Probably.
Jiggity's here. Mariano taking it up. 0.5K and water on Super Dust.
Yeah, talking about Brad Owen and channeling the Brad Owen here with the Jiggities. We'll just take it down pre-flop.
Gotta love it.
Mario was coming after my blinds, protecting me. Love it.
5 what? Do you even have overcard? You have some 5-7 still? Yeah, 5-7? Okay.
Phony Turgeson, does Benji ever raise? Well, he has tried a few times, and Mariano has 3-bet him almost every time. So he's gotten swatted a few times as he has tried.
Probably teamed up on
Who the hell knows what happened, right?
It is pretty unfortunate. You know, I'm not saying that this table is just like
But what is that even?
full of,
I just know Fusion needs to step
you
it
know,
up.
sort of whales or something where it's like, oh, well, if only I had those guys
Oh,
to
wait,
my
that was
left.
orange.
It's like this is a tough table where there's a lot of 3-betting going on and stuff, so there's no really good spots, but Benji certainly has found himself in a dynamic with Mariano. Mariano, of course,
Wait,
just
that's really what it's
consistently
called?
waking up with 3-betting hands, but really just sort of punishing him every time.
American Trocker League, ATL, I swear. ATL Division 1, Division 2.
I can't believe you know that.
Huh?
I can't believe you know that.
You guys ever?
You're gonna sign up. Mario, now he YouTube's Trocker League.
Professional Trocker player.
What's the deal they gave? What's like #1 soccer player in the world is coming to the U.S. What's his name?
Messi?
Yeah, that deal.
He's
I was
already
reading that
here.
in Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
They gave him a piece of the team,
Yeah.
piece of all the video rights, billions of dollars to play soccer.
Couple of kings here for Yacht
The newest
Club.
best to ever play in the
The
history
heater
of anything.
going.
Then, yeah.
And he turned down like a massive deal.
The Arabs,
Yeah.
Several
I mean, if you're
aces
the
now
best in the
missing
world at
from the
anything,
deck, so going to be a lot
You're probably
harder
gonna be a billionaire, you know?
Yeah.
have
Yeah, it's true.
the ace magnets
As you
run
should
into
be.
it. But Z-Fish will call. I think there's one ace left in the deck.
I saw there's a
Yeah.
awesome YouTube video. There's old
What I
man
saw.
with a slingshot. Oh my god. Like,
Great flop
he's
here
got
for
an
Yacht
old wooden
Club.
slingshot. And he's hitting like quarters in midair and like 30-yard shots like behind his back, not looking. Easy 450. It's like I grew up eating.
Yeah,
like,
not
shooting
great
shit
for
with
getting
my stick.
paid. However, Z-Fish.
Ryan believes this shit. That's like the aliens.
continue.
What about video editing?
Hey, I'm telling you, one day you're gonna look back and go, man, Brian was right about those aliens.
Yeah, probably. You better be quiet, man. They're gonna take you home.
Yeah, so, well, so
No, I'm worried about the government.
Tony
knocking me out.
Ferguson
Or
here.
that,
So
yeah.
you could learn how to re-raise Mariano knowing how much he
Say somebody
bluffs.
just robbed me.
I mean, you're asking someone to just like learn to 4-bet someone.
10% of the world's in on
You
it.
have to look at the hands,
He's thinking to be part of that 10%.
you know, as they've been played as well. It's not as simple, you know, and a lot of people will do this too. They'll be like, oh, you're letting that guy push you around,
We're
or,
worth royalties.
you know, every time you raise, that guy 3-bets you, you just fold, like you're such a pushover or whatever. Like, you have to think about what the hands actually are, and I can't tell you how many times I've been either at a cash game session or in a tournament and had some guy to my left raise me over and over and over, and it feels like they're just attacking you. It feels like they're just like, screw this guy, I'm going to push him around. And if you could just see the cards, it would completely change your entire perspective. You'd be like, oh, dude just had ace-king again, or homie's got pocket jacks again. It's like, they're not just targeting you, you know? We have this kind of egocentric thing where it feels like a pattern is indicative of someone's, you know, malice towards us, but it doesn't really mean that. And, you know, if you go and you look at the way that the hands have been played here tonight, especially between Benji and Mariano, I wouldn't put anything extra onto it. Benji folding the 10-9 suited to the 2.5x open, or a 3-bet, yeah, sure. That was a little bit of a loose or a tight fold. But for the most part, it's really straightforward, pretty standard.
Let's see what happens. Like, yeah, that's all he's done for like 30 years. Because it's super important, right? Like if it doesn't happen, then you get like fucking roasted inside.
Mariano here with a mystery card. Goes for the rescan, doesn't get it in. So Ace Jack versus Queen, maybe.
For like 30 years.
So what does he really do? Because once you get the pin down,
Cashman saying, unless it's Dong, then he's targeting you.
Yeah, it's also possible that someone is coming for you, but that's probably because you've shown a tendency to roll over or something.
I like to take my first shot out of college. I become like, you know.
Dong does play the player for sure.
Yeah. Cockpit locked it. End guy. That'd be so bad. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. What do you do?
I mean, so of course I'm making a broad, you know, sort of observation, and in particular using the anecdote here of Benji and Mariano. But yeah, of course people are gonna try to push you around. You get a guy with a big ego in your game, dude is attacking.
I know, but like he just like,
you know, you're folding too much, or not 4-betting enough. Sure, of course that exists. But I don't think that's the scenario that we're experiencing here.
It's like you're a home builder, but you don't have
That's all I'm saying. All right, 10, 7 of clubs, raising it up here for Brass Monkey. Yacht Club in the small blind, he's out of there. As is everyone else. And it looks like we're not going to reboot the Nick game or anything here towards the end of the stream. Just a couple of hands left to round things out at the 10 o'clock Central Time hour, which means that we're going to wrap things up here before you know it. That means 830 of you fine folks hanging out with us have ridden it out to just about the end. We want to thank you for hanging out with us and hope that you'll come back and join us again here on TCH Live. We have plenty more games from low stakes to mid stakes to the high stakes, 50, 100 and above, all throughout the week.
And of course, don't forget about our Poker Atlas Tour coming very, very soon here to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Over $3 million in guarantees, August 15th through September 5th. So if you're close by, or if you're even out of state, or you know, love tournament poker, we got a lot of tournaments coming up here in TCH Dallas and Las Colinas.
What's the biggest game you played? 1, 2, 4. Yeah.
Pretty fantastic spot here for JD. Flop 2-pair, turn 3-pair.
Yeah, one time I was in a 1-2-4 game and everyone started straddling.
Pocket sixes, not the worst flop, but this turn is not going to be.
That one got like pretty intimidating for me. I was being like a super nit pre-flop and stuff.
So JD slows it down after betting flop.
Did you ever sell your action when you're like 250?
Yacht Club bets just a little over 1/2.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or a little under 1/2.
Earlier, somebody asked me, and I was like, I wish I had about halfway through the stream.
Right.
Yeah. Got really lucky, got a king in there.
6 on the end, so JD gonna win
Nah,
a
if I was gonna sell,
showdown.
I would just play smaller games
Where we're
instead,
headed.
so I don't have to sell.
And the fact that pocket sixes not gonna get called by a worse pretty much ever.
I want to know who bought it.
Check Yacht Club to see that he was behind the whole way after the flop. Thank you for the kind words there, Daniel and Benny. Appreciate you guys tuning in, saying those nice things about us.
How big we put them,
Come
boys?
back and hang out with us in
Whatever.
the future.
1,000?
Sure.
Oh, that's the last
Someone
man?
stuck, you know? Someone's stuck. Maybe I'm stuck. What?
500.
That's the last man?
500 max.
All right, let's do 5.
Brian, you don't get a
What's the
vote.
next thing?
Okay.
You don't get a vote, Brian.
Hey,
Tough night here for Mariano. He played some big ones. He went for big bluff against Water, who
I don't know, 500.
found the absolutely incredible
Hey, is there any
highlight
interest
reel
in keeping your straddle
call
on?
with a pair of
or rather, is
fives
there any objection?
and that massive
I'm in, man.
Is everyone cool with that?
$44,000 pot.
Alrighty.
So that was the majority of his losses here this evening. Started things off right, too. Won the first PLO flip and won a couple of hands right off the bat in the first orbit. Was up at the top of the leaderboard. And things just kind of went off the rails. But
Standard.
as he wins a big one here at the end, going to finish as the stream's biggest contributor.
We sent it to midnight. Did you guys send it?
Yeah, just you and me again. Me and you?
Right now, here we go, heads up to flop between Brass Monkey and Yacht Club. Flush draw, straight draw, bets the flop, takes down.
Alright, flip. Alright, flip down. 1,000.
Here we go. Looks like the last hand of the evening going to be a PLO flip.
1,000.
And it looks like there's calls for 1,000 out here.
Trust me, you'll appreciate when you win it.
You'll appreciate it if you win it, says JD. That's his encouragement for those that were looking.
Well, I know because
I'm rooting for me too. I'm rooting for me too. I felt
flips with you all night if you want to. You're the only one that's got 2 votes. He's not a very good poker player. He just looks
I felt a little bad when I rooted against you in that big pot, and then you actually lost.
As we get this last hand dealt out, go ahead and remind you guys.
Your action feels even worse now. That's all right. Maybe I'll win.
Wrong one. There it is.
There we go. Title event, $1.5 million guarantee Poker Atlas Tour. This is what it all comes down to at the end of the series. 1K buy-in, 1.5 million in the prize pool. That's several other massive tournaments as well, including a $1 million, $500
I need
trying to get rid of this so we can see the hands. But yeah, so many good tournaments throughout that Poker Atlas Tour.
Wait.
That's where you guys come and get a piece of the prize pool. As Z Fish here
Has a full house.
make a full
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Ace
Can I use 3
full
cards?
of fives.
That's a 3-card flip, right?
8K PLO bomb pot.
Wow.
And with that, we're going to sign off here. Thank you guys all
Yeah, I
so
was
much
feeling
for
good when I
tuning
saw
in.
the ace. I was like,
It's been a great pleasure calling the shots here with you this evening. Derek, any final words?
No, it's been a great stream, and make sure you all tune in tomorrow night as Mariano will be coming back for quarter 50. So hope y'all enjoy the action tonight, and see y'all tomorrow.
All right.
Attention Dallas poker players, over $3 million in tournament guarantees for the Poker Atlas Tour at Texas Card House Dallas and Las Colinas. 21 events, August 15th through September 5th. This massive series kicks off with the Dallas Duel, a $1 million guaranteed no-limit hold'em tournament. And what bigger way to close the Poker Atlas Tour than with the $1.5 million guaranteed title event? For full details, go to Texas Card